Winning often and often winning in dramatic style, the Indians are determined to win it all. Willing to encounter even the most feared, the Rangers are determined to build confidence and respect. From the ballpark, two teams on a mission. Coming up next. It's Memorial Day at the ballpark for the Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians. There are two teams in the American League who have won 30 games or more, and here they are tonight on Lynn Television. Good evening, everybody. It could be a full house. The Rangers right now are 500 tickets away from a sellout tonight for the first of a big three-game series with the Cleveland Indians. We know from experience, Tom, that the Indians are a very good ball club.
Well, they are. We had a great series in Cleveland, Rangers versus the Indians. The Indians outscored the Rangers 23-21. The Rangers had the lead in all three games, only won 1 out of 3. They had 14 extra base hits. Dean Palmer was hot for the Rangers. Murray and Bell were hot for the Indians.
And this will start a series of 12 of 15 at home for the Rangers, so this is a big game tonight. Roger Pavlik will start for Texas. He's been as good almost as Ken Hill.
Well, Roger Pavlik will have to have his good stuff tonight, and lately he has. In his last 4 starts, he's 3-1 with a 2.93 ERA, and against this Indian lineup, you've got to be at your best. Jack McDowell for the Indians is, of course, one of the league's best. He's a former Cy Young Award winner. He's off to a great start for Cleveland, and the Ranger bats are going to have to swing a little bit better than they have been lately.
Jack McDowell, by the way, is 10-3 against the Rangers' lifetime. The Indians and Rangers coming next on Lynn Television.
Lynn coverage of Texas Rangers baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest Airlines, celebrating 25 years of love thanks to you. By Coca-Cola, worldwide Olympic partner since 1928. By AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Miller Lite. When you're in Texas and you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
It's game number 50 of the year. Jack McDowell against Roger Pavlik, the first of 3, the Rangers and the Indians. And of course, the Rangers have been living around some injuries on their current road trip that they're just off of. The Rangers coming home off a 4-5 trip. And right now, let's go down and check in about those Rusty Greer, Juan Gonzalez injuries. Here's Bill Jones. Bill?
Yes, Mark, we've got the update from Danny Wheat inside the Ranger training room. Juan Gonzalez this afternoon ran for about 15 minutes. He won't be playing tonight, not coming off the disabled list. There's still soreness in that quad. It will be a day or two before Gonzalez returns to the lineup. And as for Rusty Greer and his separated shoulder, he hit well in batting practice today. He is available to pinch hit, but Danny Wheat says it will be several days before Rusty Greer can throw the baseball. Back to you.
Thank you, Bill. And the Indians will look this way for manager Mike Hargrove tonight. Kenny Lofton will lead off. He'll play in center field. Julio Franco hits second at first base. Carlos Baerga hitting third at second. Albert Bell batting fourth and left. Eddie Murray hits fifth, the DH. Jim Thome batting sixth at third. Manny Ramirez batting seventh and right. Sandy Alomar Jr. catching, hitting eighth. Omar Vizquel, the shortstop, batting number 9. That's the Southwest Airlines batting order for the Indians against Roger Pavlik, the right-hander, trying to become the first 7-game winner for the Rangers this year. Frazier, Hamilton, Newson, left, center, and right. Palmer, Elster, McLemore, and Clark third to first. Rodriguez will catch, and the Pavlik first pitch is strike 1.
Rogers 6-1 on the year, Mark. And if you take away his 3 terrible starts, his ERA would obviously be a lot better than 4.98. He's pitched pretty good baseball. Opponents are hitting 267 against him. And he needs to have his good split finger tonight and good control of his fastball to beat the powerful Cleveland Indian lineup.
And you look at the face of Kenny Lofton, who is 9th in the league in batting average. Lofton, Franco, and Baerga. There's the 332 that puts him 9th in the league. 26 runs batted in. First in stolen bases, third in hits. And a hopper to Clark. Just a fair ball, and 1 up, 1 down. The ability, Tom, to keep Lofton off base has helped the Rangers play well against Cleveland the last 3 years.
Well, that's a good point, Mark. They've got so many weapons, but it's almost impossible to beat them if Lofton is having a big series. There's so many hitters in the middle of the lineup. If you can keep Lofton off, you've got a little bit of a chance.
This became a sellout moments ago. They had 500 tickets left about 15 minutes ago, and they are gone. So this is an official sellout tonight, Memorial Day. Hope you're safe and happy wherever you may be, and welcome aboard Lynn Television for the Rangers and the Indians, the two teams that have won 30. The Indians 33-14, the Rangers at 30-19. Here's Julio Franco, the former Ranger, and there's strike one. Franco at 312 for the year. Indians wearing those blue jerseys tonight. They also have the traditional all gray, but Memorial Day they're decked in blue on top. It's Richie Garcia, the other masked man that you're seeing at the plate. Here's the 0-1 from Pavlik with one quick out, and the bouncer toward Elster. He has to back. Long throw, but it's there in time, and Franco's gone. So a good start for Roger. 2 up, 2 down. The crew tonight is Richie Garcia at the plate, and he is their crew chief. Gary Cedarstrom will be at first. Mike Riley is at second, and Terry Kraft at third. This is a good, energetic crew, and Garcia will really work behind the plate. It's a warm one here on Memorial Day. It's baseball weather. Blue skies and 91 degrees in Texas. Southwest wind at 14, and it's clear.
So watching Elster make the play on Franco, part of being a defensive player is knowing the runner. There was a time when Elster couldn't have made that play like that and gotten Franco at first base. He played it back on a high hop. With a fast runner, it's a tougher play because now you have to charge it and maybe catch it on a short hop. But Elster's a smart player. He knows that Franco doesn't run like he used to, and he played it safe, and with his accurate arm got Julio pretty easily at first base.
Here is Carlos Baerga, who's only hitting .250. Ball 1 and no strikes. Pavlik trying for a 1-2-3 inning and a drive to deep right center field. This is well hit. Could go. 1-0 Cleveland. Into the Ranger bullpen. Baerga, who has had a very rough start, homers to spoil the Pavlik first. His 4th home run. And Baerga makes it 1-0.
And this is not a bad pitch. This is a fastball down around the knees. Baerga's off to a slow start, but coming into this game, we'll see the pitch. It's a pretty good sinking fastball. Coming into this game, Baerga had 3 home runs, 2 of them in his last 6 games, now 3 in his last 7 games, and only 1 in 39 games before that. So he's starting to heat up a little bit, and when he's got his long ball bat, he becomes a much more dangerous offensive player.
That's the 9th home run off Pavlik, the 50th home run off Ranger pitching. This is the 50th game for Texas. And here is Mr. Bell. He had another home run yesterday, but a big high pop up to right field. And the major league leader in home runs and RBIs is out on 1 pitch as the Deacon catches it. So Bell, who's averaging a home run every 9 at bats, is out. But Baerga hit one. 1-0 Indians. The Rangers bat for the first time after this. Rangers down 1-0 to Carlos Baerga in the first game of this series. Here's the Johnny Oates Southwest Airlines batting order for Texas. Darryl Hamilton will lead off. He'll play in center field. Ivan Rodriguez hits second and catches. Will Clark batting third at first. Mickey Tuttle in the DH batting fourth. Dean Palmer hits fifth at third. Warren Newson batting sixth and right. Mark McLemore hits seventh at second. Lou Frazier batting eighth. He's in left. And Kevin Elster batting ninth, the shortstop. Jack McDowell 5-2 for the year, 10-3 lifetime against the Rangers. He's been tough on Texas. Here's the defense for the Indians. Bell in left, Lofton in center, and Ramirez in right. The corners are Thome at third and Franco at first. Vizquel and Baerga up the middle, and Alomar catches Jack McDowell. His first pitch to Hamilton, and another leadoff base hit. The other way for Darryl Hamilton. He's beyond the 400 mark as a leadoff man in a ball game.
And you know, Mark, it seems more often than not that it's on the very first pitch. McDowell trying to get ahead in the count. Throws a fastball right down the middle, but pretty low, right around the knees. Hamilton goes down the other way and lines it into left field. McDowell is off to a pretty typical start for him. 5-2 with a 3.86 ERA. His 70 innings is 10th in the league. His 3.86 ERA is 7th in the league. His last start was a 10-8 loss against Milwaukee. He only pitched 3 1/3. He gave up 8 hits on 7 runs, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. So he's coming off a subpar performance, but day in and day out, this is a big-time winner in the big leagues.
Pudge Rodriguez, who had a couple of big hits in Kansas City now against McDowell, who throws to first, and Hamilton is back. Rangers are 30 of 38 in stolen bases. We'll catch up on that number right away. And Hamilton for the year is 6 of 8. The leader is still McLemore with 7 steals. There are the Pudge numbers for the year, and there's a look at Hamilton hitting .310 for the year as he leads off with a base hit. And Rodriguez hits one to the big crowd on the right side. Pudge tied for second in doubles at 16 in the league. This is a look at the tie with Myers and Alex Rodriguez with Seattle for Pudge, and Edgar Martinez way out in front of 26.
Pretty close race if you take Edgar Martinez out of the mix. 26 doubles already in somewhere around 50 games. That's a pace to have about 60 doubles.
Hamilton gets a throw at first. Hamilton, by the way, with that hit has moved into the 360s at home. A 360 ballpark hitter. There are some nice averages here in the ballpark, and he's got one of them. Rodriguez at 0-1. Pretty good lead. He's running, and a foul back. Hamilton running right away. The Rangers down 1-0 with a lead single. He's on first, and he takes off.
Well, that was definitely a hit and run. Rodriguez is a free swinger, but I don't think even Pudge would have swung at that high fastball, and the way he swung at it made it appear that he was protecting the runner.
We go to an 0-2 count with Rodriguez. A huge crowd here, and they were really excited during the introduction of the players. It's not like they're still coming in. They are all here. Here's a throw to first, and Hamilton is back. It looks terrific full, and it is full tonight.
And the Indians are used to playing in front of a full house. They don't have any tickets left to their games.
Wherever they are. Here's a high pop-up down the first base side. This is Franco near the seats, and he didn't catch it. Came back on him a little bit and bounced into the seats. The wind is blowing pretty hard right at this time. It is a little different breeze. Instead of blowing in, it's a cross breeze from right to left, and this may have affected Franco as the ball winds up a little bit behind him.
That ball looked like it was catchable. He just misjudged that ball.
Yeah, he did. No error because he had to go so far for it, but I think it's one of those things. If you'd asked the player, yeah, I should have caught it. So Rodriguez gets an extended at bat. There are some rough numbers against McDowell. You saw him on Rodriguez below 200. There goes Hamilton, and a swing and a foul tip that hit Alomar, who always gets hurt in this ballpark. Alomar just cannot stay healthy for a full year. And look, he's got the tape where that webbing has split on him again. He always seems to tear the webbing between the fingers there. And Tom, every time the Rangers play him, he gets hurt against him. And he's a great catcher, but he just can't stay healthy very long.
Well, the most at bats he's had in the last 4 or 5 years is right around 300. And this is why you don't want to be a catcher. It takes a foul tip. And he's a tough kid. The injuries that he's had have been legitimate injuries. It's not like he takes a foul tip off the shin and can't play. He's had serious injuries, but he's in good shape this year, and he's been healthy all year, and he's on the way toward having what could be his healthiest season.
Sandy Alomar Jr., brother Roberto, plays for the Orioles, and of course his dad, Sandy Alomar Sr., played for a long time. Rodriguez with a .291 batting average. Hamilton still at first at 0-2, draws another throw. The Indians have won 4 games in a row. They just came from Detroit, Tom, where there were crowds of 30,000. But one of the interesting stories for Mike Hargrove, the manager there in the Indians, is that about 20,000 of those fans were from Cleveland. As Tom mentioned, they're sold out at home, so they bought a bunch of tickets in Detroit. This is Tomey. This could be a problem. The second for one. The relay to first, and Rodriguez is hit into a double play. 5-4-3 as Rodriguez bounces one hard to third, and the lead hit is erased.
Evidently, the Detroit Tigers, when they saw that the Indians had sold out every ticket for the whole season, this is a good look at Tomey turning the double play. Baerga with a good pivot, getting Rodriguez at first base. They promoted the series between the Indians and the Tigers in Detroit. They sold a mini package of 6 seats and many Cleveland Indian fans bought it, and there were over 20,000 Indian fans in Detroit. They had crowds of 35 and 40,000, and the Tigers aren't drawing very well, but they didn't care where the fans came from. They were just glad to see a lot of people at the ballpark in Detroit.
Clark hitting .299 as he steps in against McDowell, and he's 2 for 12 lifetime against him. Their announcers were telling us that the Indian fans overall had 110 buses that left Cleveland on Friday and returned after the game on Sunday.
Said it felt like a Big Ten football game.
They bust in. Clark swings in a high fly ball to left center. Kenny Lofton coming over along with Bell. Albert Bell is there and makes the catch, and that's the inning. Single double play ball and a fly ball out. We're through 1-0 Cleveland. We're glad to have you along on the Lynn Rangers Television Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Texas Rangers Baseball Club and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, recablecast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Texas Rangers Baseball Club is prohibited.
Carlos Baerga has hit a first-inning home run, and we're going to the second, and it's 1-0 Baerga. Murray, Thome, and Ramirez due up. This is Eddie Murray moving in on some milestones in his career, hitting at .253. Got a very tough start to the season. He's picked it up with the 5 home runs now, and he swings and misses for strike 1. Murray at 1,840 RBIs, running 10th in baseball. Here are some of his numbers. 10th in RBIs, 484 home runs, a lot of hits over 3,000. Been around for a while, and the count will go to ball 1 and strike 1. Havlik giving up his 9th home run in the first. Rogers 1-0 lifetime against the Indians. Has pitched only 6 innings against this club. And now he's given up a home run against them. And the 1-1 is popped up foul into the crowd. And it is a big one tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's again part of the sellout crowd at the ballpark in Arlington, and tickets are going very quickly for the next 2 games against Cleveland, an off day on Thursday, and then a big weekend against Minnesota. Tickets are going quickly there. Rangers starting 12 of 15 at home in the midst of 2 6-game homestands, or 3 in Milwaukee. Murray on the 1-2, and a little ground ball to the doctor of defense, and Mark McLemore throws him out. There's 1 away. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Right now, let's go around the league and join Bill Jones. Bill?
Mark, one other AL West team has played today. The A's hosting Boston, and Red Sox rookie Jose Malave goes 3 for 5 with this 2-run double and his first big league homer as Oakland loses to Boston 10-3. Back to you.
All right. Those Red Sox starting to play much, much better as they need to. Jim Thome, batting at .308 with 10 home runs, steps in. There's 1 out in the second inning. Havlik with a big slow windup today, and it's strike 1.
Excuse me, Mark, how do you think that panic is sitting in Boston right now? Remember, after 5 games, is it
They're
too
well
early to panic
that, yeah.
in Boston? What are they doing
They've
now?
already jumped off bridges and burned down things. They've well past panic. They're in total delirium, I think, at the moment. 0-1 the count. Where are they? How many games have those folks won? They're doing better, though, aren't they? Well, they're 22. They're 20 and 28. They're only 8 under. So they're coming on.
They're hanging in there.
They could really get hot, though, with that firepower. They get Canseco and Mitchell healthy at the same time, and Greenwell and Vaughn, and they will score some runs, as this team does. The Indians are actually second in hitting. They're .291 in the league. They're second in pitching at .440. The Rangers are third in each category. So these teams have been pretty evenly matched. The Yankees, by a percentage point, carried out, hit just a little bit higher than the Indians do. On base percentage, Thome's third at .465.
That's one of the problems the Red Sox face. The longer they go, they face 2 teams they have to catch up on, Baltimore and New York, both of whom have some firepower of their own.
And they're starting to get some pitching. The Yankee pitching is coming around. Thome at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Havlik against the third baseman of the Indians, who is hitting 6th, with Manny Ramirez 7th and Alomar and Vizquel. Ooh, that just missed.
Pretty good looking pitch right there. That was a fastball right on the inside part of the plate.
A lot of pitchers are commenting about what is needed to get a strike call. I guess it was Roger Clemens on a couple of news services was very outspoken.
Most pitchers feel that the strike zone is too small. And there's an excellent split finger pitch by Roger Pavlik. Roger, through 6 hitters, has had excellent stuff tonight. All his split finger pitches are down. Here you'll see a change of speed, and boom, right there, the ball drops out of the strike zone. Tomei misses it by a mile. And even the pitch that Baerga hit for a home run was a good pitch. It was a fastball down. Give credit to an excellent hitter.
In most of the polls in the last 3 or 4 years, Richie Garcia, the crew chief here, has been ranked 1, 2, or 3 as the best umpire in the American League. Sometimes he's not 1, but he's usually in the top 3. He's a good one. Here's Manny Ramirez. He had a big hit against the Rangers. Remember that one in Cleveland. These two teams really battled each other, and Ramirez had a big slam. One of those 10 home runs. 275 hitter. Rangers won 12-10, or the Indians won 12-10 in Cleveland. Then the Rangers won 6-3, and then the Indians won 8-5. So the games were very close. Rusty Greer was playing at that time. Here's a strike, so the Rangers try to do this time without Gonzalez and Greer.
Well, they're not there right now. I guess Rusty might be able to pinch hit. Juan hopefully is within a few days of being able to play. We thought he might be activated tonight, but evidently he's still feeling enough pain to where they don't want to take any chances.
Rough to miss a big series. Here's the 0-2. That bounces in, ball 1. Rangers had a hit in the first inning, but a double play ball and a fly ball. Their inning ended quickly against Jack McDowell. Pavlik has 2 up and 2 down. Murray is grounded to second. And Tomei has struck out here in the second inning for Cleveland. Indians are 17-9 on the road, 16-5 at home, so they win both places. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Manny Ramirez. Check swing didn't go around. Close to being a strike again, too, wasn't it?
Good bat control by Ramirez. Pavlik threw a nice fastball on the inside, and it's tailing in. Luckily, he checked his swing. We'll see if he checked his swing. Ooh, it was close. You'll see this ball come in on his waist right there, and he laid off it. Just a little bit inside and just barely a check swing.
Gets a second shot. Palmer will take it away from him on a backhand in the throw. He's out and the inning's over. 1, 2, 3, go the Indians. We hit the bottom of the second inning. Memorial Day in a packed house at the park. It is 1-0 Cleveland.
Lynn coverage of Rangers baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest Airlines, celebrating 25 years of love thanks to you. And by Miller Lite. When you're in Texas and you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's Memorial Day, time for a hat and something that Mom made, it appears. Here's Mickey Tettleton. And there's strike 1. Tettleton 4 for his last 8. He is tied for 9th in home runs in the league at 9. 25 runs batted in. He is not tied for 9th. Palmer is at 12 home runs. We have been trying to find something here with Sandy Alomar. He's got a pad on the backside of his shin guard there.
It looks like it's probably a pad to maybe ease the burden on his knees to keep him from bending the knee. He's also got something written on the back of it. We can't see it while he's crouched. It says something like stay hot or stay high, something like that.
He's kind of sitting on it, isn't he?
Yeah, we've never seen anything like that before.
And he's got his hands taped. He is a bruised and battered catcher, as is Rodriguez after Pudge had a throw go off his little finger the other day.
But the bottom line is he's got the tools of ignorance on, and he's in the game.
We'll find out what that is.
It had a little face on it.
It's a little smiley. Ball 3 and strike 1. We will find out about all this. There's the other end of the catching tandem tonight.
If you're going to be a catcher, you've got to be able to play with pain if you want to play at all.
That's it. This game is tied. Way back and kiss it goodbye. Mickey Tettleton, right field home run. Whoa, did he hit that? He's 5 for 9 with 10 homers. He is starting to hit up, and he's finally into the double digits in home runs for the year.
Well, unlike the pitch to Baerga, which was down, this is a fastball belt high and right down the middle, and I think Jack would like to have this one back. Right in Mickey's wheelhouse, and he takes advantage of it, pulls it down the line, way back, and ties this ball game up.
Manny Ramirez, the right fielder, never moved. He just looked up. Home runs, and we're tied at 1. That is the Rangers' 58th of the year. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Dean Palmer, and there's a strike. Palmer is tied for 9th with 12 home runs in the league. 37 runs batted in. He's second on the club to Elster at 39. And he's hitting at 265. 1 ball and 1 strike as the Rangers have tied it on a big high home run by Tettleton. Here's a big high pop fly to Kenny Lofton. Looking to the Texas Blue, and he makes the catch, and there's out number 1. So 1 away. As Lofton returns to center field, and here is the Deacon. Right now, Newson and Tettleton are the hot Rangers. Again, Tettleton is 5 for his last 9 as he hits another home run at the ballpark. That one missed the upper deck, but was high and into the lower deck. And here's Newson, who's now up to 305. The home run, they say, estimated at 388 feet. The Deacon's 9 for 17, filling in for Gonzalez in right field, and now he's playing every day.
He's playing every day, and he's playing very well. If you ask players like Warren, who are expected to be role players at the beginning of the year, everyone will tell you it's a lot easier to put up numbers when you get a chance to play on an everyday basis. We just saw the graphic which showed what Warren had done recently. He was playing like this, Mark, at the end of spring training when he was getting a chance to play regularly. And once he got a few games under his belt, he's gotten hot lately.
Those 8 games covered the last 8 on the road trip. And that's by for a ball. Ball 2 and strike 1. Now the Rangers have hit 58 home runs. They've given up 50. The Indians have now hit 70 and given up 61. Blackjack McDowell, he's a bit traveled now. Chicago White Sox, the New York Yankees, number 5 in the nation, June 87, out of Stanford. Same school, of course, that Bob Boone and Rick Helling went to. They've had some great baseball teams, and they now have some representatives in the big leagues.
Well, that year that he was drafted, 1987, he led the Cardinal to the national championship.
Cy Young winner in 93. He was second in 92 in the Cy Young. He was 22-10 in 93. Newson a little tap. McDowell comes toward first, gets the easy bounce, and flips him out 1-3. So 2 gone for Mark McLemore. There is first base umpire Gary Cedarstrom. And McLemore up at 281 with a home run and 16 runs batted in. McDowell still throws in the 90s, Tom?
Yeah, he probably doesn't throw quite as hard as he did when he first signed, but he's as effective, if not more, than ever. He mixes in a good split finger pitch, some breaking balls, mostly a good moving fastball. And I think the biggest characteristic of Jack McDowell is that he goes right after the hitters. He doesn't back down. Very aggressive, confident pitcher.
And on the way to McLemore, there's a strike down and away, and the count evens at 1-1. He's got a hip condition. It's a degenerative hip condition that has bothered him in and out. He's got to watch it as he goes.
That was a concern coming out of college when he was with the White Sox early in his career, but he's overcome that. It doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Here's a little hopper toward first. Again, he runs well to the line, picks and tags. That'll be the inning. A home run, a game-tying home run by Mickey Tettleton, his 10th of the year, and we're tied at 1. Now these messages from your local station. We're 1-1 as we go to the 3rd inning at the ballpark. Bill Jones is in center field right now. Let's see what he's up to. Bill?
How appropriate it is, Mark, that Mickey Tettleton hit the home run, because this is Mickey Tettleton road jersey night. The kids out here in center field. Turn around here. Show that off. Mickey Tettleton. I even got one for myself. Kids 13 and under got jerseys, and I got one too. Back to you.
You'll look great in that one. I hope it fits.
I think it will.
but maybe it'll fit my kid.
I hope so. There's another one right there. So Mickey Tetlin celebrating his road jersey night with a home run and a game-tying one at that. And it's ball 1 and no strikes. You've got to do something when they give away your jersey, Tom.
Well, Mickey didn't take long, and he did it in a big way.
1 ball and no strikes. As Sandy Alomar Jr. bats, and a little roller that will flip foul down third, and Palmer plays it back, and we're now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Roger Pavlik has gone over the 60-inning mark this year. Let me correct something. Earlier I said 6 innings against the Indians. He's got more than that. He's into the 29 1/3 coming in. 6 games and almost 30 innings against Cleveland. You wonder if he knows it's there.
He doesn't have any idea that that cup is stuck to his head.
Before a sellout crowd.
I didn't see the name on his back. It looked like Mike Hargrove's son, but we'll try to catch his name.
Can't do that to the manager's son, can you? Here's a check swing, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. There he is forever.
Toby Harrah's son, Thomas.
That is, isn't it?
I knew I'd seen that face before.
Toby, of course, coaching third. There he is.
Toby, what a great kid Thomas is.
It's a ball outside.
Welcome to the big leagues, Thomas. That's a prank that I haven't seen before. But knowing Toby, he probably endorsed it, and that's kind of how they break rookies in.
I was looking at his numbers when he played for the Rangers. He had some terrific numbers. Here, Alomar strikes out. Good pitch by Roger Pavlik. 1 out for Vizquel. Here it is again.
That's another split finger pitch.
Wow, did that drop?
And he's got a good one tonight. It looks just like a fastball because of the good arm speed, which is the deception that you need. It's a little bit slower than the fastball, and then right at the end it drops.
This is Vizquel, and the pitch is low ball 1. Just a moment more on Toby. The great thing about Harrah, Tom, was the fact that not only did he hit well, but his defense was good, but he ran well. He was over there in stolen bases. He played shortstop. You could move him over to third base. I mean, he was an all-around player when he was a Ranger. He did a lot of different things for this club.
Toby was a very underrated player, and a lot of that was because he was playing for the Rangers at a time when the Rangers didn't get a lot of coverage. He was playing in a larger media market. He was a shortstop who hit 27 home runs one year. He knocked in 90-plus runs. He made the All-Star team. And if you just looked at the raw tools, Toby was a well above average runner, had one of the best arms in the league of any position, catcher, outfield, you name it. And he really knew how to play the game. He's going to be a good big league manager. Managed a little bit with the Rangers. In a key position right now is the third base coach for one of the best teams in baseball. He's managed AAA with the Rangers, AAA with the Mets. He's a great baseball guy and the kind of guy that the players really like.
Last guy to come off the Indian staff, Buddy Bell. Ball 2 and strike 2. And on the way to Omar Vizquel. And a high fly ball. This has not hit that well. Hamilton was shallow. He's got to go back to get it. And he has yet to make an error with the Rangers. Hamilton puts it away. There's 2 out. This is how it looks from deep in center field at the ballpark tonight. They are packed in there, having a great time on a beautiful almost summer's eve. Great baseball weather. And 2 teams that have both won 30 already. Jamming the place tonight. Kenny Lofton up. He bounced to first base. Lofton is 5 for 12 now against the Rangers this season. Quickly to the 3rd inning. Palmer looks for a bunt at third. As this guy runs very well. This is like playing Kansas City when Lofton comes up. The team the Rangers have just seen. You have to be aware of the bunt. Lofton leads the league in stolen bases, 5th in runs, 3rd in hits, 9th in batting average. He's at it again. There's Palmer playing in at 3rd. Elster and McLemore are back, and Clark's even with a bag. Lofton now 28. He'll be 29 May the 31st, so he's not far away. 5th year with the Indians. And there's a strike. Ball 2, strike 1. 1-1 game in the 3rd inning. Pavlik, since the home run, has retired 6 in a row. Only one man has reached for the Indians. on the home run ball. This is McLemore to his right. Ball stays down and he throws him out. 1, 2, 3 goes Cleveland. So Pavlik has a good night going. 1-1 to the bottom of the third. In the bottom of the third, here is Lou Frazier to lead it off. Frazier, then Elster, and then Hamilton. We'll see if the folks recognize Elster next. He should get a big hand, Tom, after all the articles written, all the radio and television time. He should probably be pretty well known. We'll see with a full crowd here tonight because he's new on the scene, but he has really made his mark.
Well, he's made it both offensively and defensively. He wasn't a player coming into this season that Ranger fans would have known a lot about. He came from the National League. He'd been injured the last few years, hadn't played a lot. But since spring training, they've seen a lot of him and they've read a lot about him, and I would think he'd be becoming very popular.
There's an attempted bunt. He did offer at it, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. Frazier playing in left field for Rusty Greer. Frazier had a 1 for 4 yesterday, a triple and a run batted in, a 1 for 3 with a bunt single on Saturday, and a 1 for 3 on Friday. So he's got, and a 1 for 4 on Thursday. So he's hitting 4 straight. And it's a fly ball, shallow center. Lofton is there. There's out number 1, and here's Mr. Elster. Let's pick up Chuck Morgan if we can.
Number 18, shortstop Kevin Elster.
And a nice response to Kevin Elster. Been driving home runs, although they haven't all been on base hits. He is actually 3 for his last 20. His average is at 258, but he's still the RBI leader at 39, and he is leading the league in sacrifice flies from this number 9 spot. He has 7. So they don't show up in the hit column.
They show up in the RBI column, though.
And in the manager's mind, don't they?
Darn right.
That manager knows who's been driving in runs.
One of the frustrating things about watching offense is when a player can't get the runner in with less than 2 outs from third base, especially when the infield is playing back. You can do it with a ground ball or a sacrifice fly. That's why Kevin Elster has been such a pleasant surprise this year. In addition to everything else he does, he makes contact with a man on third base.
And it's now ball 1 and strike 2. Rangers had a lead hit from Hamilton. He was erased in a double play ball. And the only other man to reach didn't stop. Mickey Tettleton tied the game with a high fly ball that went out to right field, his 10th home run. And we're 1-1 with Cleveland in the bottom of the third.
And Kevin has been somewhat susceptible to the strikeout. He struck out 42 times in almost 160 at-bats. That's about 1 every 4. But it looks like he has excellent concentration when he has to put the ball in play with a man on third base.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3. Oh, McDowell's got some good stuff tonight too, Tom.
Well, that's his curveball. He throws mostly fastballs and split fingers, and occasionally he mixes in this pitch right here. And it's a good overhand curveball, and you'll see it drop right into the strike zone, right on the outside part of the plate. And there's not much a hitter can do with that, except hopefully foul it off, or take it and hope the umpire calls it a ball.
Both starting pitchers have their breaking balls working tonight. And here is a ground ball through by Hamilton again. He's 2 for 2. Baerga diving, but didn't have the angle. And Darryl Hamilton, who came in hitting .310, has a little ground ball out of reach of Carlos Baerga. Hamilton, go for Hamilton. He's from Sugar Land, Texas now.
Baerga can't quite get that ball. Alomar would have gotten that ball. Baerga can't quite get it. Nice try, diving try. Hamilton's on with his second hit in 3 innings.
Carlos Baerga at second base. Franco is holding at first as Rodriguez steps in. Pudge hit into a double play on a 5-4-3. That's a pretty big leadoff again by Hamilton. Do they think they can run on McDowell?
I don't know if they think they can, but I think they might give it a shot. Hamilton ran a couple of times in the first inning with Rodriguez at the plate. One looked like a hit and run, but Hamilton runs well. He can steal a base, and with 2 outs in a close ball game, you'd have to think there's a good chance he could be going right here.
And Alomar has a big arm behind the plate. Sandy does, as when he's healthy. Of course, remember, he won a Gold Glove when he was a rookie. Rodriguez has kind of replaced him now, as Alomar got lost in the shuffle. Still some good numbers, but just didn't play enough with all the injuries.
That's the reason he got lost in the shuffle, is because injuries prevented him from getting enough playing time.
Ooh, they think he's going, and they pitch out. Waste one at ball one. Alomar, the catcher, hit 300 last year, but he only had 203 at bats. Two-hit games this year. Hamilton is at 22, led only by Roberto Alomar, Sandy's brother in Baltimore.
Pretty good hitters in that lineup.
Yes, sir. Throw to first. They're worried about him. The Gold Glove for the catcher, Sandy Alomar, came in 1990. When he was the Rookie of the Year. He was the first Rookie of the Year to be a catcher since Carlton Fisk back in '74. Big lead by Hamilton. He wants to run. He's not going here, and Rodriguez pops it up into the crowd foul. 2 out, 1 on, 1-1 in the bottom of the third inning. Sellout at the ballpark. The first of 3 against the Indians. Here's part of the throng in here tonight. And this seats more than the Jake does, so this will be a 45, 46,000 crowd. The Jacobs Field that the Indians play at seats a little over 41,000. One ball, one strike. There may be an Indian fan or two in here, Tom. Got a ticket about 5 months ago.
That might be a little bit too much of a drive to come follow.
There they are. Not good seats.
There's a few.
There's Oahu. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a throw over, and back in time just barely is Hamilton.
McDowell has a good pickoff move. He'll vary the pickoff move. He'll throw over there casually sometimes just to keep him close, and then this is his pretty good move. Very accurate, right on the bag, and Julio slaps the tag on, but Hamilton's just back.
1 ball and 1 strike to Rodriguez. Rangers in a tie. Hamilton at first. Not going, and a fastball up in the shoulders he took a rip at.
Alomar gave the sign that time with his glove to throw the ball high, a high fastball, and you'll see McDowell with a high fastball. Alomar standing up, giving a high target. That's right where McDowell wanted to throw that ball, because they know that Pudge will offer at that high fastball.
Set-up, wasn't it?
Right.
Rodriguez up there hacking away. He hit a home run the other night, but he's been swinging all of a sudden at everything. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the way, Mark, that Pudge will get better pitches to hit is when he starts laying off the bad pitches. Until he lays off pitches like that high fastball, pitchers are going to keep throwing it up there. And he's such a good hitter that he still does well against those pitches, but not as well as he could do if he took the bad pitches and swung at the good ones.
1 and 2. There goes Hamilton. Swung on, ground ball to Baerga. And that's the inning. No runs on a 2-out single. Rodriguez is out, and so are the Rangers through 3. A nice game developing here. Pavlik and McDowell 1-1 to the 4th on the Rangers television network. Parts and Auto Parts bring you who's hot and who's not. And who's hot right now? Rex Hudler, 5 hits yesterday against the Red Sox, and the White Sox have won 8 in a row. Conine and Jones hot in that National League. Bobby Jones has won 5 straight for the Mets. Who's not? Will we bring up Detroit again? No. The Brewers, 4 straight losses. Mike Potts gave up 3 consecutive home runs yesterday to the White Sox. The Cubs have lost 7 of 10. Swept by the Astros for the first time since 1989.
It's been kind of a roller coaster ride for the Brewers. Last time I think we were in Minnesota, they just left Minnesota after winning 4 in a row. And Rex Hudler has been a big leaguer for 7 or 8 years, mostly a utility player, getting a chance to play this year for the Angels because he's been so hot. Already has 9 home runs after 50 games.
There are some nice stories this year. Hudler, Elster, some people that were forgotten about coming back. And we were trying to be kind to the Tigers tonight, leaving them off.
Boy, you want to be kind to the Tigers because how much we think of Buddy Bell. Just hope Buddy Bell can get through the season without losing patience and losing his confidence. Just tough to have a anywhere near successful big league team with the kind of pitching staff that they've got.
Lost 11 in a row, 31 of 35. They are, however, 1-1 in the 5th at Kansas City tonight, so they've got a chance. This is Julio Franco, that familiar style, and that bat whipped back over his helmet. And a bouncer toward the hole, cut by Dean Palmer. And they'll throw out Franco again. Julio's 0 for 2.
We're listening to people talk about Dino. Dino had a series of maybe 2 or 3 games where he made several bad throws, went back out and started to throw a little bit more in infield practice, said he had to throw a little bit more overhand. And in the last 5 or 6 games, he's gotten back his accuracy that he had for most of the first part of the season. You'll see Dino field that ball, get his feet underneath him, and then use an overhand delivery, which leads to a much truer throw. He felt he got a little bit careless with his throwing when he made some throwing errors. One of them was in Cleveland. One of them was in a game that Bobby Witt pitched.
Carlos Baerga, the hitter, he homered in his first at bat, his 4th of the year, his 31st run batted in. Hit it to the Ranger bullpen in right center field. There are some finals today. Marlins are hot. They win again. Florida has won 15 of 20. That's another developing story. Are the Marlins better than the Rockies this year?
They might be this year. Rockies
Rockies
pitching certainly leaves a lot to be desired.
But Saberhagen not pitching too well for him these days. Here's the 1-1 and a grounder toward Clark. It takes a low scooting bounce, but he has it. Saberhagen is 2-2 in the 6.70 ERA. And not pitching, he's on the DL at $6 million for the Rockies. Saturday night, Minnesota at 7:35. Winn-Dixie Dr. Pepper Youth Ballpark logo pin night. You get the logo pin of the Little League Park. 273-5100 is your number to call all week for tickets. The Indians tonight and Wednesday, then the Twins Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Albert Bell, the hitter, he flied to right field, seeing 1 pitch in the first inning. Bell is 5 for 12 with a home run against the Rangers and killing the rest of the American League. And there's a Pavlik pitch, low ball 1. Bell has averaged a homer every 9 at bats, Tom.
He has. Boy, it's amazing to watch him day in and day out and what he's done the last part of the season last year and early in this season. Already he has 20 home runs, 52 RBIs, scored 44 runs, all those #1 in the American League. And there's a rope.
Oh, and it took off on Frazier. He had to stab it.
I hate to see
where
that ball would have gone if he got that thing up in the air.
That went up about 10 feet and then went into zoom category, went to about 12 feet tall and hurried up. Frazier says, I think I can catch this. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It's 1-1. Out in center field, behind the center field backdrop there, is the fans able to walk all around the park, do some shopping, see some baseball memories out in that area. And the youngsters can throw a few around. Here's Will Clark to lead off the inning for Texas. Then Tettleton and Palmer. The guns are up. And Clark hits one way up in the air to very shallow center field. Vizquel is out calling. And Omar makes a snap catch. Boy, that's a risky thing to do. 1 out. And here is our Miller Lite trivia question for the night. Which former Indian pitcher threw the only no-hitter ever on Memorial Day? It was back in 1977, May 30th. And he may be in the ballpark. Here's Mickey Tettleton with 1 away. Tettleton hit that high home run to right field, right down the line. And he's 1 for 1 with his 10th home run, his 26th run batted in. Mickey, who had been in a stretch of 1 for 22, is now 5 for his last 9. So we may be hitting one of those red hot streaks for Mickey. The big windup by Jack McDowell. Not many guys wind up like this anymore. He swings through it over the cap, goes very quickly. Many just start from the belt and straighten away and throw, but McDowell swings through the whole thing.
I wonder who had the sideburns first, Jack McDowell or Brady Anderson. You know, we've been calling it Brady Anderson's sideburns. It might be Jack McDowell's sideburns.
Jack's a rock and roll guy. Got a band in the off season and
called View.
Haven't caught them yet, have you?
Published an album.
He's the music man.
Interesting part about his group called View is 2 of the people in the band are former ball players. Wayne Edwards was a pitcher in the White Sox organization, and Lee Plummel was a minor league pitcher. Who says ball players can't do anything else?
Well, I'd have to hear it first.
Well,
no, it's rather well received. He has some gigs, I guess they call them, group dates.
You know, there are probably some musicians who have to pay a lot of money just to get an album printed. We've seen Ruben Sierra with his salsa album.
Tettleton is out, looking. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Dean Palmer. So Mickey goes back with a home run and a strikeout. McDowell works quickly. Tom, there has not been a walk tonight. Pavlik has thrown 45 pitches. He struck out 2 and walked none. Now it's 2 strikeouts, no walks for McDowell, and he is really throwing quickly tonight.
Boy, both pitchers are pitching very, very well. They have similar type pitching styles. Both of them throw a fastball that sinks. Both of them throw a good split finger pitch. Pavlik has a nice curveball and slider. He doesn't use it very much in the game. McDowell has a nice curveball that he'll mix in occasionally. So they're similar type pitchers. If you had to cite the major difference between the two, it's obvious that McDowell is more consistent day in and day out. But Pavlik has the stuff, when he develops the consistency, to be a big winner in the big leagues.
1-hit complete game at Detroit this year, of course, for Roger Pavlik really turned him on. McDowell is big, 6'5", so he unwinds a lot toward the plate. And it's now ball 3, so he nears the first walk of this quickly played game tonight. In the bottom of the 4th inning, he's 3-0 on Palmer. Dean with 12 home runs and 37 runs batted in. A look right in the face of Dean Palmer as he gets ready for the 3-0, and he takes a little high, ball 4. There is the first walk. So the Deacon up in a tie game with a runner at first base, and we'll see McDowell stretch for the 2nd time tonight. These teams played in Cleveland, and here's what happened. In game 1, the Rangers had a 7-run lead and lost it. Then Damon Buford started to play, 3 for 4, and then 6 different Indians drove home a bunch of runs in game 3, and the scoring was close. It was 23-21 in runs, Cleveland by 2, but there was some great baseball in that series in Ohio. So the Indians lead 2-1 in games. The Deacon takes a little wide.
Big game in that series, I think, was the 2nd game after the Rangers blew the huge lead in game 1 in front of the full house at the Jake. The Indians are almost unbeatable at home. The Rangers came back and won that 2nd game, and that was a big victory. You don't win that game, you got a chance of being swept. Rangers played pretty good baseball. I think they feel that they belong on the same field with the Indians after that series anyway.
And they split in Minnesota and split in Kansas City. There are basically only 4 teams that have hit 30 wins. These are the 2 in the American League. Again, the Indians at 33-14, the best record in the majors. The Rangers at 30-19, and the other clubs are San Diego at 31 wins and Atlanta at 32. So only 4 teams attained the 30 mark. 2-1 here to Newsom. He really took a swing at that pitch.
A little bit high.
There they are right there. The front 4 at 30. Ball 2 and strike 1. There are a couple of teams knocking on the door. One is the Philippe Blues from Montreal.
If you anticipated that list at the beginning of the season, you would certainly have expected Atlanta and Cleveland to be 2 of the teams there. I think the Rangers themselves felt better about their chances of being in that list. Most people around baseball did not expect the Rangers to be up there. I think the Padres are also a little bit of a surprise.
The other team is Chicago, the White Sox. They're coming on quickly. The runner goes and a foul back, and we go to a full count here to Newsom. Baerga homered in the 1st, Tettleton homered in the 2nd. Both were solos, and that's the score. 1-1 with Palmer having walked at first. There's Carlos Baerga. It was his 4th. Julio Franco holding at first. They were together in Chicago, McDowell and Franco, back in '93 when they had a great club, and the strike came, Tom, and many feel that that was going to be the Sox year. The happy Julio Franco back from Japan. And he'll be running here at 3-2 with 2 out. Franco doesn't hold him anymore. And the pitch on the way to the Ranger right fielder is ball 4. Newson with a pretty good eye. He had a key walk yesterday and then the big hit. But he walked to load the bases in the 6th inning when the Rangers had 2 at Kansas City and then drove home 2 on a 7th inning single. There's Mike Hargrove, who tonight is trying to get his club 20 games over 500 before June. He's going pretty well. Hargrove now 46 years old, out of Perryton, Texas.
Mike is in a tough situation managing the Indians. We've talked about it a couple of times. Everybody expects the Indians to win 100 games and battle the Braves in the World Series. That Mike doesn't get enough credit for the good things that he does on that bench. It's not an easy team to manage. Talent-wise it is, but you have a lot of distractions on that team and a lot of things that have to be handled behind closed doors by the manager. And Mike is one of the best at that. He's a great players manager. He's a no-nonsense guy. He knows baseball. He doesn't mess up the strategy. I think when you know a manager is a bad manager is when he's got the talent to win and doesn't. But you've got to give a manager credit who has the talent and then comes through with a big season. And Mike's proven he can do that.
And the man who managed the Indians before Mike Hargrove, John McNamara. Seems like ages ago. They cut in on Palmer. Couldn't get him at second. Saw those big numbers for Mark McLemore against Roger McDowell, hitting in the 330s, and now he's got a ball 2 no strike down against
seen the results of announcers making comments and then seeing the game go differently. Just as you mentioned the great control by both pitchers, Jack McDowell has walked 2 and goes 2-0 out of nowhere to Palmer, Newson.
Look at this.
And now McLemore. And he had pinpoint control, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's just lost his control.
Out goes Alomar.
You can see being careful to Palmer with 2 outs and nobody on. Palmer's a definite home run threat. You don't want to give him a pitch to hit. But once McDowell walked Palmer, he was a little out of whack to Newson and walked him, and now he's gone 3-0 to McLemore, and he's in danger of loading the bases.
So McLemore, who had bounced to first in the 2nd inning, has a runner in scoring position, Palmer, which would be the lead. And here's a look at McLemore as he faces Jack McDowell on a 3-0 pitch. He takes way high, ball 4. Boy, McDowell is out of sync. All of a sudden, the first 3 walks of the ball game come back to back to back. And we've got a trip to the mound as all of a sudden McDowell has a 2-out bases loaded situation for Lou Frazier. Mark Wiley is the pitching coach, and he's on his way to the mound.
A lot of teams, Mark, when the pitcher gets in trouble, you'll say to yourself, good, maybe we can get the starter out of there and get into the bullpen. The Indians aren't a team that you can say that with. They have probably the best bullpen in baseball. And when the starter's out of there, there's not a noticeable drop-off when any of the 6 relievers come in. There's a look at the Indian bullpen. Tavares, Plunk, and Mesa from the right side, and Poole, Assenmacher, and Alan Embry from the left side. They throw hard. The lefties are extremely tough on left-hand hitters. Mesa is untouchable as a stopper. And that's one of the real strengths of this ball club.
Well, a big moment for Lou Frazier. Back to the full windup, Jack McDowell. Strike 1. He threw a strike. He took a little off.
He just needed to talk to the pitching coach for a minute.
Wiley's visit.
Pitching coach said, hey, wait a minute. Throw it over the plate. Okay, I will.
Frazier with a fly ball to center field in the 3rd. They play him in just a little bit at 3rd. The bases are loaded. And that missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rangers in a 1-1 game, but with a great chance here against McDowell, who again has won 10 of 13 decisions lifetime against Texas. It's outside, ball 2. They are loaded on walks. Palmer at 3rd. Newson at 2nd. McLemore at 1st. Good speed at 2nd and 1st. If Frazier can put it in play, and tremendous speed at the plate if he can hit an alley ball. This is a 2-1 to Lou Frazier, and a high pop-up down the line and foul. Tomey running along with Vizquel, and Tomey makes the catch on a knee. Pop out with the bases loaded, and the Rangers leave all of them. They left 1 in the 3rd and 3 in the 4th, and we're tied now into the 5th inning. At the end of 4, 1-1, Tuttleton and Baerga home runs. We're glad to have you along on this Memorial Day. This is the Lynn Rangers Television Network.
Lynn coverage of Rangers baseball is brought to you by your local Honda dealer and by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody.
Mark Holtz with Tom Grieve in a packed house at the ballpark at Arlington. Game 1 of a homestand that'll cover 6. And a road trip for 3 and then back home for 6. The Rangers going to like this big homestand. We go to the 5th inning, tied at 1, and here's Tom.
Thanks, Mark. It's going to be Eddie Murray leading off for the Indians, followed by Tomei and Ramirez. 1-1 after 4. Rangers missed a golden opportunity in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. McDowell walked 3 straight hitters. Frazier popped up in foul territory to Tomei, and the Rangers were unable to score. Ball 2 to Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray is 40 years old in his 19th big league season. Last year at the age of 39, he hit .323 with 21 home runs. He can still swing the bat, a little bit out in front of that pitch. Not only did he hit .323, but he hit .351 last year with men in scoring position. His 82 RBIs marked the 19th consecutive year that he knocked in 75 runs or more, which ties him for the major league record with pretty good company, Nick Aaron. Excellent split finger pitch. Check swinged into right field by Eddie Murray. That pitch fooled Murray. 2-1 split finger pitch down and out of the strike zone. Murray began to swing at it, wanted to check his swing, made pretty good contact, and hit a soft line drive into right field. Davey Nelson, the first base coach, there's the check swing. Whoops. And there's the base hit to right field. Davey Nelson got to first base and talked to Eddie Murray. Probably said, "Nice hit, Eddie." And Eddie said, "Hey, I'll take it. I've got a few of those in my career."
Former Ranger Dave Nelson is that coach at first. He could run.
This is Tomei. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Tomei struck out in the 2nd inning on a good split finger pitch. Hitting .306 on the season. Tomei 1 for 8 off Roger Pavlik. Pavlik has pitched pretty well against the Indians. Looks the inside target from Rodriguez. Throws the ball a little bit outside. Missed the target on the wrong side of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tomei also is coming off a fine 1995 season. He hit .314 with 25 home runs and 97 walks. 3rd in the league last year in on-base percentage at .438. Good young developing power hitter. You make a mistake to this guy, he can hit it a long way. We saw that a couple of times last year. Not a real high draft choice. 13th round draft choice in 1989 out of Illinois Central College. So he certainly didn't come into pro ball as a highly touted guy, but it didn't take him long to become one. Power to all fields. Two balls and 1 strike. Murray at first, nobody out. A little bit outside, runs the count to 3-1. On deck hitter, the dangerous Manny Ramirez. Not much rest for a pitcher in this lineup when you see a guy like Ramirez hitting 7th.
Tom, what is he swinging over there? They used to have leaded bats. They used to have the weights. He has come up with a new functional weight device.
I don't know what you call it.
That was the silliest looking thing.
It is something heavy. Good pitch by Pavlik. Jammed Tomei. It's popped up. Elster back underneath it. That's out number 1.
Look at this thing. This is a weighted end. I guess it gives you a little.
I guess you can move the
tire iron is what it is.
You can move the little weight in the middle up or down to weight it toward the end or toward the middle.
Who's coming up
in the old days? I remember Willie Stargell when they were We Are Family. swinging a sledgehammer in the on deck.
A real
literally
sledgehammer?
a sledgehammer. It was a short handle with a great big hammer on the end of it, and a lot of those hitters were swinging that.
Probably carried it
There was
with
only
them.
a few of them that could pick it up and swing it, though. You had to be a power hitter to swing that.
That's when they weren't going through those devices to get on airplanes. Carried a sledgehammer with them.
It was big, too.
See, there's the answer. Here it is 20 years later. They came up with the answer.
Ramirez grounded out to third in the second inning. Fouled the first pitch down the left field line. No balls and 1 strike. Now we get to the 7th hitter, and again we talk about a developing power hitter. Last year at age 23, Manny Ramirez hit .308 with 31 home runs and 107 RBIs. What a year for a young kid. Good fastball again on the inside part of the plate, pulled foul. Pavlik's ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes to Manny Ramirez. Last year, Ramirez became the 25th player, 23 years old or younger, to hit 30 home runs and drive in 100. Way out in front of it. See the ball go into the Indian dugout. Someone diving out of the way. Might have been Wayne Kirby, utility outfielder. Does not have a happy look on his face. Hey, get a glove, Wayne.
Hey, it's Memorial Day. I'm just here to watch the game.
You can't hide. Good pitch. Split finger, low and in. Ramirez way out in front of it, and Pavlik has his 3rd strikeout.
Well, we asked the question a little while back on the Miller Lite Trivia Quiz. Which former Indian pitcher threw the only no-hitter ever on Memorial Day? 77. You want to guess?
I think it's a pitching coach. No, it's not.
You know, I thought it was Dick Bosman, too, but it is Dennis Eckersley, who just went on the DL, a no-hitter versus the Angels. Remember when Eck was a Cleveland Indian?
Those trivia people are always trying to fool us. You assume it's going to be someone in the ballpark. Right when you're sure of who it is, they just come up with one out of the blue.
And Rich Garcia gets stung right here. Rodriguez goes back to help him.
Only a catcher knows how that feels. Pudge says, hey, hang in there, Richie. Difference between Richie and Pudge is probably about 25 years in age. Those bruises feel a little bit worse the older you get, and there's a good look at it right on the right shoulder. Ooh. Now an umpire wears protection up there, but no matter what you've got, when you take a solid blow like this right to the collarbone, the protection does a little bit, but it doesn't eliminate the pain.
Well, you don't know if you should go get it checked or not. Garcia came up in 1975. He's one of the smaller umpires, Tom. He's only 5'9" and about 180 pounds. He worked the game back in 1993 at Minnesota behind the plate for Cleveland and Minnesota. That was 22 innings, 6 hours and 17 minutes behind the plate.
Wow. Here's one more look at it. The foul tip.
Ooh.
A great shot of that ball drilling Richie right in the shoulder, maybe above the collarbone. And that not only hurts right now, that's going to hurt Richie the whole ball game. And that's the shoulder that he makes his strike call with. So not only will it affect him just standing there, it'll hurt even more when he has to make his strike call. He'll have to ice that down tonight. No balls and 1 strike. Pavlik throws over to first. Doubtful that Eddie Murray is going anywhere.
I think just trying to give Rich Garcia an extra breath or two.
He might just be trying to give Richie a little breath and throwing a ball to limber up a little bit himself. Pitch popped up. Another good pitch by Pavlik. He's kept the ball down all day. Elster makes the catch for out number 3, and it's another strong inning for Roger Pavlik. We're through 4.5 innings. It's Cleveland 1 and the Rangers 1. We're back at the ballpark in Arlington, where it's 1-1 Indians and Rangers. And before Kevin Elster hits, let's go around the league with Bill Jones.
In Toronto, Sky Dome roof is open. White Sox are sky high, looking for their 9th straight win. But the Blue Jays' John Olerud hits a grand slam home run, and the White Sox are trailing in Toronto 5-3.
For the Rangers, it'll be Kevin Elster leading off, followed by Hamilton and Rodriguez. 1-1 through 4.5. Fastball down the middle, strike 1 by Jack McDowell. As we said, the Rangers missed a golden opportunity in the fourth. Palmer, Newson, and McLemore all walked with 2 outs, and Frazier popped up to Thome in foul territory. Another fastball right on the outside corner. Elster offers at it, but can't make contact. Elster hitting .256 on the season. He's been in a little bit of a slump. He's 0 for 12, 4 for 26 in his last 8 games. 0-2 pitch, a little bit high. It's hard to fault Kevin Elster this year. He's certainly been one of the Rangers that's been among the most valuable for his offensive and defensive contribution. There's a split finger pitch. Fouled off. Again, a full house today, Memorial Day. Good crowds expected through the weekend. Good weather expected through the weekend. And if you're going to come out and watch the ball game, we suggest you get your tickets early. Jammed, little blooper up the middle. Baerga barehands it, throws, can't get him. And Elster will be on with an infield single. McDowell jammed him with a fastball. Elster hit it right off the handle and looped a little soft line drive up the middle. Baerga knew he had to make the play quickly. Good pitch. He'll barehand it, try to throw in one motion. Nice play. No chance to get Elster, and Elster's on with an infield single. That brings up Hamilton. Hamilton has singled in the first and singled in the third. Good athletic move by Baerga. Knew it was a long shot, but still hoped to make the play. A little bit low for ball 1. Rangers play the Indians through Wednesday, take Thursday off, and then play the Twins on the weekend. With Hamilton's 2 for 2, he's brought his average up to .317. Fastball, strike 1. Hamilton came into the game in a mini slump, 0 for 9. He's taking care of that tonight. Leads the league with 205 at-bats. Rodriguez is right behind him. He's third in the league with 196 at-bats. Rangers have put a lot of runners on base. Hamilton and Rodriguez have hit at the top of the order and played almost every game, so it stands to reason they would be among the league leaders in at-bats. McDowell hits the outside corner with a good fastball. Appears to have gotten his control back after a little lapse in the 4th inning. McDowell through 4 innings had thrown 62 pitches, and 24 of them came in the 4th inning. 1-2 to Hamilton. Elster fakes a jump. Hamilton loops it to center field. Lofton right there and makes an easy catch, and that's out number 1. Lofton plays one of the shallower center fields, and because of his excellent speed, he's able to get away with that. Pudge Rodriguez grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the first, and then grounded out to second base in the third. His ground out to second base in the third came on a fastball that was about even with the bill of his hat. Pudge hitting .288 on the season. He's had a number of at-bats against Jack McDowell. He came into the game 7 for 36, 194. He's hit a home run and knocked in 3 runs. It's 0 for 2 tonight against McDowell. McDowell doing a good job of hitting the corners. Does it again right there. No balls and 1 strike to Rodriguez. Johnny Oates has shown an inclination with Rodriguez at the plate to move the runner. Rodriguez makes good contact, hits the ball to all fields, so he's a good batter to start the runner with because he can hit behind the runner. We're in the bottom of the 5th. It's 1-1. No balls and 1 strike to Rodriguez. Elster at first with 1 out. Good curveball. McDowell will mix a curveball in occasionally. It's a big breaking curveball, but a sharp break to it. Starts out high and out of the strike zone and then drops. That ball probably would have been a little bit low. Tough pitch to lay off. No balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez behind in the count. Try to shorten his swing and make contact. Hits it long down the left field line, but foul. Our next TV game will be tomorrow night at 7:30. It's Cleveland at Texas on Channel 39 in Dallas-Fort Worth and the Lynn Texas Rangers Network. Tomorrow night it'll be Oral Hershiser against Darren Oliver. Rangers roughed up Oral Hershiser the last time they faced him in Cleveland. Split finger pitch low. Good discipline by Pudge there. He laid off a pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's Oral Hershiser. The Bulldog, as Tommy Lasorda nicknamed him.
Looks like the professor.
Looks more like a professor. I was thinking the same thing. There's a curveball popped up down the right field line. Ramirez toward the line, against the wall, makes the catch. And that's the second out as Elster retreats back to first base.
And the Rangers really got Hershiser the first time through, Tom. They got him for 7 runs in 3 innings and an Elster home run, so they can win this one. They've beaten Hershiser around a bit.
Well, we've seen the Rangers knock around a veteran pitcher in Mark Gubasaw.
Yes.
And then face him the second time and get shut out. So
well, okay, be that
Hershiser got roughed up, and I'm sure he remembers that, and he'll be out tomorrow to try to gain some measure of revenge.
Oh, been a long day.
Looks like he's going to need a good night's sleep tonight.
This is one of the fastest games of the year, and he's tired. Needs a lot of sleep.
He won't be tired tomorrow night. This is Will Clark. Will has flied out to left field and popped up to shortstop. 0 for 2. 2 for 14 off Jack McDowell. Has an RBI. Will in a little bit of a production slump. Only 1 RBI in his last 10 games. Hitting .295 on the season. A little bit low. Ball 2. Will has 5 home runs and 32 RBIs. The Cleveland outfielders bunch him toward the middle. Lofton straight away in center field, and Bell and Ramirez shading him a little bit toward center field. They give him the line both to left field and right field. There's a good fastball on the corner for strike 1. Baerga shades Will to pull at second base. Plays him deep back on the grass. Franco, of course, is holding Elster on. And Vizquel, the shortstop, shades him up the middle just a little bit. There's a good look at Vizquel, and Tomei backing off the line. There's a curveball, and there goes Elster. Elster got a huge jump. Not the fastest runner in the world, but with that jump, you don't have to be. Could have stolen that base standing up.
That'll make the Rangers 31 of 39 this year, and for Elster, he has just picked up stolen base number 2.
Elster got a big jump. McDowell, not expecting him to run, took a little bit extra time delivering the ball, and Elster was in easily. Alomar had no chance to throw him out at second base, and now there's a man in scoring position for Clark, who takes ball 4 up and in, and that puts men at first and second for Mickey Tettleton. On Mickey Tettleton Jersey Day, Mickey Tettleton homered in the second inning for the Ranger run, tied the score at 1. Baerga had earlier homered for Cleveland. Tettleton's home run was a towering shot down the right field line. .81 pitches for McDowell in the 5th inning. 2 outs, 2 on. Curveball. Third base umpire Terry Kraft says, yes, you did swing. Mickey says, that was a ball. I don't like to swing at balls. Not too sure I swung at that one. But regardless of what you think, Mick, it's no balls and 1 strike. Mickey hitting .276 on the season. Went into double figures with his home run at 10. McDowell throws a fastball up. That is 26th RBI. Tettleton, too, has struggled against Jack McDowell. He came into the game at 5 for 30 with a home run and an RBI. He's now 6 for 32. 1-1, line foul, hard into the stands behind the Cleveland dugout. And Tettleton's behind in the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good pitchers duel tonight. Jack McDowell and Roger Pavlik. Rangers have a run on 4 hits. They've left 4. 3 of them walked in the 4th inning. The Indians have a run on 2 hits. Pavlik stretching his arm. One of the Indian hits was Baerga's home run. The other was a check swing single by Eddie Murray. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mickey Tettleton. McDowell occasionally tonight has struggled with his control. Pavlik has been sharp the whole night. Pavlik has not walked the batter and has struck out 3. McDowell now has walked 4 batters. There's a fastball tapped out in front of the plate. Alomar jumps out after it, but it curves foul right when he reaches it. And Tettleton will come back and do it all over again. Runners are staying put until they're positive that it's called foul. Now Elster goes back to second, and Will Clark back to first. Tettleton comes back at 2 balls and 2 strikes, and will try to get a base hit, see if he can't score Elster and give the Rangers the lead here in the bottom of the 5th. There's Elster at second base. There's Mickey Tettleton. Fastball. Good pitch to hit. Mickey jammed a little bit, pops it up to Ramirez in right field, who makes the catch for out number 3. And again, the Rangers strand runners. 2 here in the 5th. And after 5, it's 1-1. Now these messages from your local station.
Let's take a look at our Chevrolet game summary. And it has been an interesting pitching battle tonight. Pavlik, 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Blackjack McDowell is about matched it. Baerga hit a solo home run in the first off Pavlik. There's only 1 other hit for the Indians. Mickey Tettleton tied the game on a solo in the second, and here it is. Very high. This will miss the second deck and land just to the right in the lower deck. And that was his 10th and a game-tying home run. Pavlik has retired 15 of 17 batters tonight. The home run by Baerga and a lead single by Murray in the 5th with no walks. He's faced 2 over the limit. Tom, we are starting to see some great pitching over the last maybe 3 weeks for the Rangers, for Kansas City, some of the teams the Rangers have played, but also in the major leagues. There's some pitching catching up to the hitting right now.
Well, it's making a little bit of a comeback. It's got a long ways to go.
Ken Hill, of course, the Ranger leader on such things, has good pitching.
But it's making a little bit of a comeback.
Some shutouts actually thrown. The Twins had a shutout the other day thrown. Omar Vizquel leads it off. He's hit a fly ball to center field. He's 0 for 1. Then Lofton and Franco in the 6th inning. And look for a little bunt at third base. Omar, a pretty free swinger, takes the ball, and it's 3-1. So Pavlik, without a walk yet, has struck out 3 and walked no one as he pitches in the 6th inning. They have left only Murray, 1 man left on for the Indians. And as Tom said, now the Rangers have left 6. There's a strike. He was showing bunt. And the count goes full as Pavlik has not given into the walk yet. Pavlik with 22 walks now in 64 2/3 innings. It seems like he's had more wild spells than that, but they apparently have all come together. That's not a bad ratio. A walk every 3 innings. Fouls 1 back.
Not bad at all. Looking at the scoreboard, Mark, we were talking about the Tigers earlier and how badly it's been for Buddy Bell. This is a good night for Buddy Bell so far through 7 innings in Kansas City. The Tigers lead 4-1, and I think it's the debut of their hot young left-handed prospect, Justin Thompson. So
would that turn them on?
Maybe that's a little bit of a glimpse of some hope for the future, although they are changing the score right now in the bottom of the 7th.
Isn't everyone in baseball except Royal fans rooting for Detroit tonight?
It's now 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th.
And another 3-2 pitch will come from Roger Pavlik, as that one is fouled off and ricochets out toward the depot.
The biggest problem Buddy's had with the Tigers is no matter what the score is late in the game, and they've played well many games through 6 or 7 innings, they've got bad defense and they don't have a bullpen or a stopper, and that adds up to bad baseball in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. So regardless of what happens through 2/3 of the game, they're at the mercy of the other team in the later innings.
That means move over Mets.
Yeah. That means
how was the Met club that you played on? That wasn't very good either, was it?
Let's put it this way.
What year was that?
That was 1978. The Met team, I don't know how many we lost, 90-something games.
Whoa.
Did not draw 1 million fans in New York.
Ouch. Ball 3 and strike 2. They just hadn't heard about your longest home run out there. Here's Rodriguez and Palmer. Palmer's got a little better angle, and he runs down the line and makes the catch. Rodriguez has got a stagger at the plate if he looks at that. Palmer can move, and he had a better angle than Pudge, and he called him off right away.
I don't think Dino expected that ball to end up where it did. The wind must have blown that ball back. Dino called for it early.
No, look, Pudge right there. Looks at him.
Pudge knows he's zeroed in on it, puts his hands behind his back, says, okay, that's my territory, but if you want it, you can have it. And it is a little bit easier catch for Palmer coming in facing it than it is for Rodriguez.
Sometimes we don't give credit to the pop-ups that catchers catch because there's the reverse spin on them a lot of time. And
well, they look easy, but with the wind and the spin, they're not as easy as they look.
This is a quick hit into right just by the diving Mark McLemore from the bat of Kenny Lofton, and this is the man the Rangers have kept off base most of the time, and now he's on. This is a base stealer.
You're right, and this is a matchup that we're looking forward to right here. Kenny Lofton, the best base stealer in the American League, gets a pitch out over the plate, singles to right. Now in a tie game in the 6th inning with 1 out, nobody else on other than Lofton. It's Lofton versus Rodriguez right here. We'll see if Lofton wants to run. In Cleveland, he had a couple of chances, chose not to run. Pavlik will try to do what he can do to keep Lofton close, and then we'll see how Pudge comes up if Lofton does go.
Those aren't batting gloves he's putting on at first base. Those are his running gloves. 30 for 41. Look at it. It's actually wristed. The right wrist has a little padding in there to grab. 30 of 41 for Lofton. Pudge is thrown out. 14 of 30, and he's picked off 5, and there's a throw over. Look at Pudge. He's kind of squeezing the hand. Remember, he got hit on the little finger yesterday, right hand.
See Pudge's eyes sneaking a look at Lofton.
He's got a right-handed batter up, and that really helps, Tom, if he's got to throw to second.
You get a little bit better look with a right-hand hitter than you do with a left-hand hitter. You can see the runner and the break he gets.
These little games within a game, and here it is, Lofton and Rodriguez trying to out-psych each other. Lofton has led the major leagues in stolen bases each of the last 3 years. 70 in 93, 60 in 94, and 54 last year. I beg your pardon, he did not lead last year. The youngster from Florida did, Veras, so it's 2 out of 3. Veras had 56 stolen bases to Lofton's 54. So he's led the majors 2 of the last 3. And there's ball 1.
Well, Pavlik will do everything he can to give Pudge a good chance. He'll throw over, which he's done a couple of times, and he'll vary the type of delivery he uses toward home plate. Sometimes he'll take a regular leg kick, and other times he'll use a little glide step, which delivers the ball much quicker. And his goal is to try to make it tougher for Lofton to be able to pick up when exactly to get his jump.
See if they throw over again. It's 1-0. They're not going to, and the pitch is inside. Does it change your pitch selection? More fastballs?
It changes your pitch selection a little bit. You tend to throw more fastballs, but the other thing it does, it disrupts your concentration. Sometimes it can be a decoy. Lofton can say, look, I'm not going to take a chance on running against Rodriguez. I've got an excellent hitter, a 300 hitter in Franco up there. I'll make him think I'm going to go, and maybe Pavlik will lose his concentration, walk Franco, make a good pitch that Franco can drive, So there's a lot of other things going on, too.
Quick throw over. Well, you go back to the era of Lou Brock and Kurt Flood, how they could disrupt the pitcher. And perhaps one of the best was Ricky Henderson when he was running with over those 100 stolen base years, how much he would disrupt the starting pitcher.
Well, there was a couple of years with Ricky Henderson where a quick move to the plate and a pitch out, and the pitcher and catcher still didn't have a chance to get Ricky.
Ball 2, no strikes.
Lofton's good, but he's not quite in Ricky Henderson's category.
Maury Wills, one of the greats. Here's a high fly ball to deep left center field. This is well hit. Back goes Frazier on the track, and he makes the catch. That's about 380 away. That's out of some ballparks like Kansas City. And Franco is a huge out. This is 390, and this is the deepest part of the ballpark.
Well, I'm going to be disappointed if Lofton doesn't go now with 2 outs.
Should say in the alleys, it's the deepest part of the ballpark. He kind of did not get all of that. He was leaning for it.
It was a good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Julio, a lot of times, will go to right field. That time he was a little bit out in front of it and didn't have all his power behind that one. He still drove it about 380 to left center, but he didn't get all of it.
They've done a good job on Julio. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
They have. Now with 2 outs, let's see if Lofton goes right here.
Now a left-handed batter in Rodriguez's way too.
Doesn't have a big lead.
Well, they didn't run that much against Pudge in Cleveland, did they?
This is a lot of respect. Lofton loves to run. Not only does he lead the league in stolen bases, he leads the league in being thrown out too.
Lofton, a man who has scored from second base on a bunt. He scored from second on a sacrifice fly, and it's not a real big leadoff. 1 ball and no strikes. They've resodded parts of the ballpark and let the grass grow a bit longer. It's greened up in the last.
Yeah, it's definitely the
2 weeks.
best the ballpark has looked. It looks great right now.
Dirt looks good around first too. 1 ball, no strikes. Not going, and the pitch is way wide. Ball 2, 2 out, 1 on. We're tied at 1. A first inning home run by this man Baerga, matched by a Tettleton second inning home run. And we are 1-1 in a pitcher's battle with a jam-packed full house, sold out standing room only at the ballpark tonight. A quiet but intense crowd at the moment. And the foul back. It's ball 2 and strike 1. We still do not have a walk from Pavlik. He struck out 3, walked no one. He's got 2 out in the 6th inning, and there's a lot of folks spending Memorial Day with us.
The other thing we don't know for sure about Lofton is he plays every day and runs a lot. He may have a little bit of a sore leg muscle that we don't know about. So, you know, we're kind of saying, hey, let's see if he goes right here. He may not have any intention of going because he might not feel good tonight.
And sometimes they won't tell you if he's got a little tightness or a bruise. Now watch him run. Nope, he's not going. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. 2-2.
Well, the few times tonight when Pavlik has gotten behind in the count, 3-1 or 2-0, he's come right back. And there's a 2-1 fastball right by Baerga.
He challenged him right there.
And you know you're throwing well when you throw a fastball by Baerga. He doesn't swing and miss very often.
75th pitch coming from Pavlik. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a check in at Lofton. This is the kind of game where 1 error or a misplayed ball will really hurt you. This is a squeaker tonight. These are 2 good ball clubs with a pitcher's battle going on. The Indians again are 33 wins, 14 losses, and the Rangers not that far behind them at 30 and 19. 2-2 pitch. And we'll go to a full count.
Well, I bet you he's running right here, Mark.
All right, go out on a limb, Tom. By golly, go out on that limb by
I've
yourself.
been struggling the last few games with my guesses. I want to make one that I've got a pretty good shot at.
I'll go out there with you.
Okay.
I will agree.
I want to make it like 1 for 10 in the last 4 days.
There are 43,000 people that also believe what
that
Tom
won't disagree with that one.
Say, Tom, you got your stuff down. Ball 3 and strike 2. He's running. And a high fly ball, a very shallow right center, should be caught. Hamilton coming out, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Boy, this is a great one. Pavlik against McDowell. The bottom of the 6th due up. We're still tied, 1-1. Oh, and nice looking hat on Memorial Day. We're glad to have you with us. Back in the press box, Mark Holtz with Tom Grieve. Thanks for joining us tonight. Pitching can be a lot of fun, and it is tonight, Tom.
Roger Pavlik looks great tonight, Mark. I don't think, made a mistake all night long. He's had a great fastball, a good split finger pitch. Baerga hit a home run, but it was a good fastball down around the knees. He's pitched out of a little bit of trouble when he's been behind in the count by making good pitches. And after 6 innings, that's about as good as Roger Pavlik can pitch.
On the way to Dean Palmer and tight for ball 2. Again, it was a wild spell for Roger McDowell, who had 2 out, nobody out in the 4th. Was pitching a 2-hitter and walked 3 in a row, and the Rangers didn't take advantage of them. They got a single, a steal, and a walk last inning and didn't take advantage of them. They need to do some work here now. The Rangers have left 5 men on in 2 innings, so they have to go get him when they can, and they've had him on the ropes, but just have not been able to score off of him.
In case my wife is listening, I'm going to say as well as Roger Pavlik can pitch, since I've been corrected more times than I care to remember.
Yeah,
that well and good is something you should learn early in your life. Unfortunately, some of us struggle with that.
3-1, and a hopper toward the hole, but a backhand by Vizquel. And a balloon. He's out.
Nice play by Franco. I thought that ball was going over his head, didn't you?
He kept that last foot on. That looked like it could be trouble, and Julio did a very nice job on a high throw. You know, he was a shortstop, then a second baseman, and in Japan he played first. The Rangers were going to use him at first if anything happened to Palmeiro while he was here, but he makes a nice play here.
Well, he didn't want to jump because he knew it was going to be a bang-bang play. Vizquel, who's normally very sure-armed, throws this just a little high. Julio reaches as high as he can without jumping, catches it in the tip of his glove, and still keeps his right foot on the base. Good call by the umpire and a nice play by Julio.
The Deacon up. If he jumps, he's safe.
I think so.
That's a nice play. Yeah, Julio knows what he's doing. He's a very mature individual now. You think back to 10 years ago in Cleveland when kind of a wacky guy, and he's really got some good things going for himself and for the people around him now. There's a 1-1 count.
Well, all the stories about Julio that you have read were things in the past. He is a very stable guy now, and if we had a team, Julio would be on it. He's one of our favorites.
There's a high fly ball to left. This is Bell, and Newsom is out. So there are 2 down for McDowell here in the 6th, with McLemore coming up. The Dick Bosman Arlington Big Brothers Golf Tournament set for Shady Valley Golf Club on, what is it? Oh, it's Thursday at 10:30. That's what it is. Thursday at 10:30. If you'd like to join and play, 277-1148. Be a big barbecue on Saturday. But the Dick Bosman Big Brothers Golf Tournament, always a great event and for a great cause, again, is on Thursday. Couldn't find the date there for a moment. That is an off day for the Rangers. They play the Indians tomorrow night and Wednesday night. We'll have tomorrow night's game on television. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be the Minnesota Twins. Sunday, by the way, is a day game at 2:05. Oh, 2 to McLemore. Walked his last time, bounced to Franco at first in his first at bat. Check swing. They go to third, and this inning's over. That's a swinging strike 3 on the appeal to third base. So that's a quick inning. 1, 2, 3 for the Rangers. We are still riding on Baerga and Tettleton home runs. We go to the 7th. It's 1-1. And this is the Lynn Rangers Television Network. We are through 6 innings tonight. Roger Pavlik against Jack McDowell, and it has been a great game. A couple of early home runs. Look at this. 1 3-0 for the Indians, 1 4-0 for the Rangers. And Roger Pavlik has been superb. 8 innings, 8 pitches in the first inning, 8 in the 4th, and he's at 76 now through the first 6 innings. The last inning was the toughest.
Really hasn't had a high pitch total in any inning. 18 is not that bad.
Boy, it's great to have those innings in single digits. Pavlik has come of age, I think, this year. Tom, he's had a couple of shaky outings, but he could be 7-1. There's only one 8-game winner in the league, and that's Nagy. And he's going to maybe get Albert Bell again. This is a fly ball to Newson, and Bell is 0 for 3. He's flied to right, flied to left, and flied again to right. Bell against the Rangers, 5 for 14. The leader in major leagues in home runs at 20 and RBIs at 52 and a whole bunch of other categories. But that pretty well tells you the story.
Well, if he wins tonight, he will be 7-1. And if you look at what might have been, which is tough to do in baseball, but we can still try it, and look at the 3 huge leads he had.
That's right.
He could conceivably be going after 10-1 tonight.
That's why you think he's not having a great year. He lost the big leads, but he's pitched very well in the tight games like this one. Here's 40-year-old switch hitting Eddie Murray, his 20th year in the major leagues. And strike 1.
Well, there's 28 teams in baseball, and there might be 2 or 3 teams, maybe 4, that Pavlik couldn't be a key member of the rotation. But virtually every team in baseball would like to have Roger Pavlik in their rotation. It's just, I think you're right, Mark, when you talk about the type of games he had with big leads where he lost the lead, that creates, I think, a feeling on the part of a lot of people that they get mad, they get angry. What's the matter with Pavlik? But if you look at it overall, look at his stuff, look at his age, look what he's done in the past and the way he's headed, and you have pretty good feeling about Roger Pavlik.
Maybe a little bit of a checkered past, too. With
He's had some arm injuries that you have to keep in mind. This is a guy with good stuff.
And this is Eddie Murray in his 20th year. No batting gloves. He likes the feel of the hands on the bat. You don't see this too often in this day and age, but no gloves. Check swing, foul ball. He's got some fingers taped, though. That's right where that bat would cradle. That's instead of a glove, maybe.
Looks like a little padding on his top index finger there. It's tough to go through a whole season as a hitter without having some aches and pains in your hand. The vibration of the bat, batting practice, all the swings you take. Very difficult to feel strong in the hands day in and day out.
1-2. You get those little bone spur things on them too, don't you?
Well, you get little aggravating things from being jammed, hitting the ball off the handle or off the end of the bat. And unless you get a few days off, they tend to hang on for a while.
2 balls and 2 strikes. You can see him. He's really protecting his index finger left hand, isn't he?
Looks like he almost is keeping it off the bat.
Yeah, he is. He's got it taped and it's off the bat. Ball 3 and strike 2. Murray with 5 homers, 20 runs batted in. He had a very slow start to the season, but he's picked it up. Pavlik on the full count, and he swings at it. That was close to being a strike. Again, Pavlik has walked no one. His 11th start. He does have 2 complete games. 34 and 26, the Pavlik big league record. So if he wins tonight, he'd go 9 over in his career. Well hit to right field. Back goes Newson. Now the ball will hang up for a bit. Newson's coming on, and he's called off. Hamilton makes the catch. All of the action was with Warren Newson, but the ball didn't carry very much. That might have been affected by the wind as Hamilton comes over and makes the catch.
Could have been
pretty high.
Could have been affected a little bit by the wind. Might have been affected a little bit by Eddie Murray hitting it just a little bit off the end of the bat. I think he felt like he had a good pitch to hit, and he just missed it. And then it looked like the ball didn't carry well either.
They can't hear out here tonight, huh? A lot of noise. Look at the
Deacon heard right at the end. Let me know.
You the boss. You play out here all the time. It's very noisy, though. There's 15,000 fans packed into the upper deck there and the lower deck, so you probably can't hear out there much tonight. 2 out for Tomey. This guy hits the long ball. Be very careful. 1 ball, no strikes. Good fastball.
That's the way the communication should work in the outfield. The center fielder is the quarterback, so to speak, in the outfield. The other outfielders go for everything they can get, and it's up to the center fielder to either let them take it or to call them off. And even though Newson could have made that play easily, Hamilton called him off. Newson got out of the way, and Hamilton made the catch.
There's a foul ball. This outfield has played pretty well. Frazier back in left field tonight, whom you just saw. Hamilton in center. There's Lou. He had a couple of rough games in left, but remember, he got turned down by that great catch
He
There's
saved
Hamilton.
the game.
He did.
Minnesota.
That great catch in Minnesota. So had a triple the other night. He's playing for Rusty Greer, trying to fill some giant shoes at the moment. Tomey at a ball and 2 strikes, 2 out in the 7th. And Pavlik just off the corner. When he's missed, he has not missed high. He has missed off the plate low, in and out. He's having a great night. Tomey is 8th in runs in the league at 38, a .308 hitter when the night started. Here's a good look at the Peoria native. This is pitch number 91. And that's low and inside, ball 3, so a 3-2 pitch. Tomey wearing the little shin guard toward the inside of his ankle guard actually. So by May you're bruised a bit, and he's got the batting gloves on both hands. Full count, and a great pitch got him. Boy, good location at the knees again, and Pavlik rolls on. He's having a nice night before the full house. It is stretch time in Arlington. We have a dandy going for you. Solo home runs by Erga and Tettleton, and we're 1-1.
Lynn coverage of Rangers baseball is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Here is Lou Frazier to lead off the bottom half of the 7th inning against Jack McDowell, and he bunts foul. Tomey was playing in for it, and it is strike 1. Jerry Narron, the coaching box at third. Oh, look at this. Tomey sidestep down there. Where is this?
There's a little bird right in front of the coach's box. Tomey almost stepped on it. And it looked like one of the Indian players tossed it out of the dugout between innings.
Lou Frazier's got a shot. Let's see if he can get up the alley. No, it's going to be cut by. He's looking at second.
He's thinking about going.
He's not going. He was thinking about it. And it'll be a single for Frazier as he looked to second. But Manny Ramirez has a great throwing arm. And he's back at first. He hit this ball hard. Pitch was up.
He got on top of that fastball. He got the same pitch to hit with the bases loaded, and he popped it up. That time he got out in front of it, got on top of it, and got himself a base hit to start the 7th inning.
I suggest so that no societies get mad at anyone, they move that bird.
I do too. I don't like that at all.
Get the ground crew to move the bird. And Elster takes ball 1. This is the bunter of the year. He can bunt like crazy. He's struck out and singled and stolen a base. And 1 run would be huge in this one. It has been 1-1 since Tettleton led off the bottom of the 2nd inning with a home run to tie Baerga, who had homered as the 3rd batter of the game. Frazier with a big lead at first. He's not going, and the bunt is laid toward first. This guy can bunt. That is a beautiful bunt, and it's played 1-4 at first base. He is fundamentally sound, Tom. Elster with a terrific bunt.
We've seen Elster
7th.
Not only get the sacrifice fly, but he has a great knack of deadening the ball. He chokes way up on the bat and then bunts it right near the end of the bat. You'll see him do it right off the end of the bat. Perfect location, right straight to Franco. Just the right speed. Elster is really fundamentally sound.
Here's Hamilton with a fly ball to right center. Diving catch by Lofton. Actually a sliding catch by Lofton. That had trouble written on it, and Kenny Lofton had a terrific first read and first step off of that ball. He goes into right center, goes down into a slide. Thought he was going to dive at the thing, but he kind of sits down in the alley.
Talk about a guy outrunning the baseball. Lofton has probably as good speed as anyone in the American League, and that ball looked like a certain base hit to right center field, and he just outran the ball and wasn't going to leave without catching that ball.
And as Darryl Hamilton playing well all year long, he is now 2 for 4 in this game. He plays well in the hard games against the good pitchers, but he's out here. Here's Rodriguez, 0 for 3. Got a runner at second. That is the go-ahead run in the game. We are 1-1. This is a terrific game in the bottom of the 7th inning. This is a big league special. And a strike one count on Rodriguez. This is baseball. Good summer type weather, full house, and some great pitching. It is a 1-1 game. Jack McDowell about ready to throw his 105th pitch. Solo home runs early for both clubs.
Didn't we have a 2-1 game in, was it Minnesota?
Yes. Here's a little chop to Baerga. This should end the threat. And it does. And we continue in this squeaker from the ballpark. No runs on a lead hit. And after 7, it's 1-1. Now these messages from your local station. We're 1-1 here at the ballpark at Arlington, and let's go around the league for an update. Let's join Bill Jones.
Around the National League, a delay in Pittsburgh today. The Astros' Craig Biggio patiently awaits for the birdie to fly away, and then Biggio sends the ball sailing away. A home run. Astros win their 4th straight, 5-3 over the Pirates.
That will make that Central Division with a 500 club, won't it, Tom? The Astros, does that put Houston at 500?
It's pretty close to it. They just had a good series against the Cubs.
Yes, they're 26-26. The leader in the Central has attained
they have arrived.
Mediocrity. This is Manny Ramirez. 21 of 24 retired tonight by Pavlik. A home run and 2 singles. No walks against him. And a chopper foul that ricochets back to the field, and it's strike 1. Manny has bounced to Palmer, struck out in the 5th. Alomar has struck out and popped out, and Vizquel, the 3rd batter of the inning, is flat out and popped up. Oh, 1. And another ground ball that will hit near that tarp. That tarp's going to be up there all year, Tom. They just can't find that part.
I don't think they can get the motor.
It used to slip back down in the ground, but forget it.
Pavlik must be changing speeds a little bit on his fastball. Ramirez got 2 pitches this time up. They look like fastballs out over the plate, and he's been way out in front of them. So maybe Pavlik is taking just a little bit off of them. See you later.
Another strikeout. He is really pitching one of his best games of the year.
He's getting ahead of the hitters with his fastball and then using his split finger pitch, which you see right here, and Ramirez can't lay off it, way out in front of it. And that is a good call by the first base umpire, Gary Cederstrom.
Sandy Alomar Jr. has struck out, and he's popped to short. They have a tall battery tonight. Alomar is 6'5", and their starting pitcher, Jack McDowell, is 6'5". This is one of the bigger catchers around. The other big one is a Mark Parent, who's played for the Rangers briefly and now with Detroit. But Alomar is big at 6'5" and over 200. This is 7th year with the Indians. Came from San Diego with Baerga for Joe Carter in that big trade a long time ago. High fastball. Alomar will hit some home runs. He's got 5 this year. He had 14 in '94 and 10 last year, and both seasons cut short with injuries. 1-1. 2-1. The Rangers, of course, have defensive specialists, Bucky Dent for the infield and Ed Napoleon for the outfield, and they are right by each other to make sure that they're pretty well both decided on how they'll play on defense. They talk a great deal during the game. 2-1. Bounced foul. And Oates lets him go, doesn't he? I mean, they are the decision makers there. Johnny would have an ultimate say, but he obviously defers to them.
Johnny has a great deal of confidence in his coaching staff. He coordinates everything, but he delegates the authority. And in Ed Napoleon and Bucky Dent, you have 2 of the best in the business. So I think Johnny feels pretty comfortable giving them the responsibility to make those game-type decisions.
And one thing they've done here is really move Palmer over. Again, the Rangers are starting to do what the Royals did a few years back, and that's really guard the lines late. Look where Palmer is. He is way over there. Clark is not that close to the line, but they are guarding the corners here. This will be the 100th pitch of the game for Roger Pavlik. And that's through that wide hole on the right side. So there is the 4th man to reach in the game, and up will come Vizquel. The Rangers and Netcom Interactive have teamed up to allow Ranger fans to visit the club via the internet. TexasRangers.com provides all the information you need to follow your club. Profiles, box scores, stats, and a lot more. The website, which was produced through the joint efforts of the Rangers and Netcom Interactive, designed to provide the information and services that a fan in cyberspace would certainly enjoy. So join Tom and I and all the rest of the world on TexasRangers.com. It's been a nice website, hasn't it?
You've really educated yourself in the last week.
Talking
Show
computers. Here's a little ground ball back to the mound. The runner was going to second. The look is to first. And Vizquel is out. A great jump by Alomar, and Vizquel hit a little roller off the hands right to the mound.
Well, that was a hit and run. Alomar did get a good jump. He was running on the play. Vizquel didn't have a very good pitch to swing at. He's running, and it's a high fastball. Vizquel normally wouldn't have swung at that pitch.
That's why it looked weird.
As it was, he gets jammed and hits a little dinky ground ball right back to Pavlik.
That was way up in his letters, wasn't it?
It was. That's a nice out for the Rangers. Dick Bosman is going to trot out and chat with Pavlik just a little bit, I think, to make sure he's okay. And probably talk about how to pitch right here to Kenny Lofton.
And how do you pitch to him? He is a great singles hitter. The Rangers have the bullpen up right now just in case. Russell and Henneman have been the late calls for the Rangers. Pavlik has certainly got him through 7 2/3 very effectively. But how do you pitch to Lofton? He's got some power, but he's a pesky hitter, Tom.
Well, he's a 300 hitter. Actually, he came into the game 9th in the league at 332. So you pitch carefully to him. The problem is you can't pitch around him because Julio Franco's next, and he came into the game hitting 312. Pavlik has had pretty good luck against Lofton, 1 for 14 until he singled in the 6th inning. So whatever Pavlik has been doing with Lofton in the past, it's been very successful.
And Palmer, you see at third base, they're moving in just in case he bunts. This is a guy that has many weapons, and there's strike one. And that is the key for a pitcher. Strike one, as every pitching coach in history will have said. But now the hitter's on defense, Tom.
Yes, he is. He's behind in the count. Now Pavlik can go to his split finger pitch if he wants to, stay with his fastball. He's had excellent location with his fastball tonight.
No walks. He has given up now 3 singles to go with a home run, and that's wide for a ball. This is the first sellout of '96. This is also now the 7th largest crowd in ballpark history. Tonight it's 46,521. There are a number of free tickets given away at different areas, so that's why there is a variance in a sellout crowd. That is through, base hit. Here comes the go-ahead run. Frazier is there in a hurry. He's throwing home. It's going to be way late. They try to get the runner hung up between first and second and do. The run counts. Lofton has been tagged out, but the run is home. Lofton, a very quick ground ball through on the left side, and the tie has been broken. He gets his 27th run. He's then run down 7-5-4 if you're scoring. And the Indians have the lead to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 2-1 Cleveland. Rangers need a run. The Indians have come up with a couple of singles and a ball that worked out like a bunt, although it wasn't on a hit and run to move a runner along. But this is Lofton for an RBI go-ahead.
Well, he doesn't hit it very hard. He hit it about like Alomar hit his base hit to right field. Frazier's playing shallow. He's got a shot at Alomar, but he can't get the ball out of his glove. It leads to a late throw and an inaccurate throw. Fortunately, it hit the cutoff man, and Palmer's able to cut it off and make the play on Lofton. But Lou charged the ball well, but couldn't get it out of his glove, didn't have a good grip on the ball, and Alomar scored.
Will Clark, Mickey Tedlin, and Dean Palmer, these are the big firepower guys for the Rangers, due up here in the 8th. They need a run to tie and 2 to get the lead. The sellout crowd of over 46,000 looking on. And there's a strike. Clark 0 for 2 with a walk. Will started the night at 299. He's now at 295. When leading off an inning, he has been superb getting on base. A 541. There's Tettleton on deck. Not this time. Baerga gets it shoe high, and there's one out. Well, McDowell has done a fine job, but the Rangers had him on the ropes in the fourth, Tom, and didn't pull the trigger. They had the bases loaded on walks.
They had a chance. Frazier had a pretty good pitch to hit. He popped it up. Tomei made the play in foul territory. So they had a little bit of a chance, and against a pitcher like McDowell, you don't often get chances like that. And if you miss your chance, sometimes the pitcher can settle down and get tougher, and that's what McDowell has done today.
Tettleton, the home run in the second, the only run the Rangers have had tonight.
And the problem the Rangers face now, down 2-1 late in the ball game, is if McDowell gets through the 8th inning, you've got Jose Mesa in the bullpen.
Mr. Perfect. There's a strike. We rechecked that 2-1 game. It was not in Minnesota. It was Saturday night in Kansas City. The Rangers won 2-1. So
that was Rick Helling's game.
That's right. They have been in 2-1 games in 2 of the last 3 games they've played. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, does great pitching give you a chance to win, though. How about a 2-home run game from Tettleton? He's done that before. And they have Julian Tavares, the right-hander, and Paul Ossenmacher, the left-hander, throwing right now.
Talk about
heard that Mesa's okay, from what we know.
Mesa usually, with Mike Hargrove, doesn't warm up until the 9th inning.
Here's a ground ball that is foul.
Talk about good pitches. McDowell has thrown Tettleton a perfect fastball on the outside corner, a split finger on the inside corner, and then an excellent curveball that he fouled off. So McDowell has gotten stronger as this game has progressed.
And should you want to know, Mickey Tettleton has had 2 home run games this year against the Tigers and against the Royals, and both of them here. So he, Palmer, and Elster have had 2 home run games twice this year each. Not tonight on that pitch. Was that straight change?
No, that was his good curveball. It changes speeds, but it also has a big break to it. This is his slow curveball.
Boy, does he change the speed on this thing.
And he's had a good curveball tonight. Almost every curveball he's thrown has broke just like this one. Some of them have been out of the strike zone. But McDowell has been tough. As we said, the Rangers had the bases loaded in the 4th. They also had 2 men on in the 5th when Mickey Tettleton flew out to right field.
Dean Palmer, the hitter, and a foul back. 2 up, 2 down. We're in the 8th. Later in tonight's game, and not too far away, the player of the game will be named in honor of Hoover. Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt out like Hoover. Our Hoover player of the game tonight, and there are some real candidates. This is the 0-1 to Palmer, and that's tight. Palmer is the home run leader for the Rangers at 12, 9th in the league when the night started, and 37 runs batted in, pushing him 2nd. Lifetime off of McDowell. He is now 5 for 28. And he hits one deep, way back. This game is tied. Kiss it goodbye. Dean Palmer has homered. 2-2.
Well, there's no more disappointed player in this ballpark than Jack McDowell. McDowell, since the Rangers stranded 2 in the 5th, had been very sharp, but here he makes a mistake to Palmer. He pitched around Palmer earlier in the game, but this is a 1-1 fastball right down the middle, and you can't make that mistake to a hitter like Dean Palmer with that kind of power in this type of a game, and McDowell knew it the minute he let go of the pitch.
Let me say this once. There have been 2 back-to-back home runs this year by the Rangers, and Newson has hit the second end of both. Whoa!
Well, he got good distance.
I hope that didn't hit anybody.
The Deacon heard you and went for it.
He was left at the plate with no bat. That is in the Dave Winfield category.
He got good velocity and good distance, and hopefully that didn't hit anybody. See you later.
I hope nobody. Look at that thing's airborne.
That was a fastball. Looked like it was right down the middle. Deacon was all keyed up on that pitch.
I hope nobody got hurt. Look at that. That is a missile in there.
Like the wing of a helicopter that broke.
Wow.
He looked like he might have paid the price.
Honey, you really want this thing? Oh. Oh,
She's saying, what's so great
he
about
says,
a
"I'll
baseball
keep
bat?
it, Mr. Prong, a little thumb problem.
You all right? He's hurting
I'll
right
never
now.
be able to use my thumb
that
again,
bat hurt
but-
his thumb.
0-2. And this is a hot shot to Baerga. He knocks it down. The Deacon slides it first. He tried, folks. He did all he could, but it wasn't in the cards for the Deacon that time up. Palmer goes deep. We're 2-2 on the Lynn Rangers television network. Well, here is time for a Mark's moment. It was a foggy day in Cleveland. Look at this, May 27th, 1986. This is Boston at Cleveland, and the fog rolled in from Lake Erie. This is Barry Bonds trying to hit fly balls to the outfield to see if they could see them and continue the game in the 6th inning. This is a fly ball to Tony Armas, who goes against the wall, and they lose the ball, throwing it back in. There's so much fog, Larry Barnett says this game is suspended. That was back in 1986 at Old Cleveland Stadium. And that was Bobby Bonds, wasn't it?
Right.
Bobby Bonds, the father of Barry, who actually went out to hit fungos.
The umpires wanted to see what a fly ball would look like. They couldn't see it.
Lake Erie was, what, about 100 yards right behind that ballpark, and the fog came in and you just couldn't see. There were some very eerie cold nights. That looks like it was out of a Jack London novel or something like that. And it has been cold and warm and foggy. Remember Oil Can Boyd, wasn't he pitching that game? And he said the fog off the ocean did it. He forgot that it was a lake.
Well, it's close.
I think the Can was pitching that game. This is Julio Franco at ball 2 and no strikes. The game was suspended and completed at a later date. And now all of a sudden Pavlik, who has walked no one, starts at 3-0 with Franco. There have been 4 singles and a home run off of Pavlik tonight as he goes 3-0 on Julio. And there's a strike on the inside corner, 3-1. And the Indians now in the 9th inning get Jose Mesa up. And the Rangers, who have not used Ed Vosberg very much or just haven't been the opportunities, get him up along with Jeff Russell.
I don't think Mike Hargrove will use Mesa in this game unless the Indians score here in the top of the 9th. In a 2-2 game, it's unlikely that he'll bring in Mesa. It's not unheard of to bring your stopper into a tie game, but
he wants them ready in case they score, though.
Exactly.
This is Elster, and the ball stays down, and Elster throws out Franco, who is 0 for 4, and it's 1 gone in the 9th.
Excuse me, Mark, this is the middle of the lineup, and they have scored a lot of runs, so you can't blame Mike Hargrove for being ready in case they do score.
I doubt if Vosberg will face Bell, though. That's the one out on, that's my one out on the limb for the night.
I don't think he will either.
Mike Hargrove, who is trying to get his club 20 over in this game, has Baerga at the plate.
He might face Tomei, but he won't face Bell. Roger Pavlik, every time he's been behind 3-0, 3-1, whatever it's been, has come back to get the hitter. Has not walked a batter.
And the telling sign for Pavlik may have been what has just accomplished. He was 3-0 to Franco, came back, got him on a ground ball. That shows he's still got something in the 9th. The manager may notice that. He chained Baerga at the plate at 1-0. And now he's dropping behind the hitters at ball 2. Kansas City has come back to tie up Detroit in the 9th inning at 4-4.
You have to think it wasn't off Justin Thompson, who was probably gone before then, but it was probably off whoever their stopper of the day was.
To Clark, playing perfectly behind first. Quick flip, 2 out. Boy, they moved Clark down the line, and that's where that very slow high bounce went. Look at Clark. That almost hit the bag. Look at Will. That was a tougher play than it looked.
Baerga was patient through 2 pitches, 2-0, but he's a tough guy to walk. 192 at bats. He's only walked 6 times, and he swings at a pitch that's a little bit out of the strike zone. That ball
just missed the bag.
Just missed the bag. Looked like a normal hop. I'm not sure exactly what Will thought. He might have thought it bounced a little higher than normal.
I think that it kind of took a weird hop back toward fair ground. He had to kind of move over. Look at what's off his right shoulder. The high weird bounce. 2 out. Here's a matchup. Pavlik and Bell. Tonight, Bell has flied to right, flied to left, and flied to right. He's 0 for 3. He is the Major League home run leader at 20 and the Major League RBI leader at 50. He's got 50 runs batted in on May 52 on May 27th.
You don't want to walk anybody.
Oh, yeah. This is a fair ball. He hits a low rocket down the left field line. They're throwing to second. Here's a turn tag. He's out. He stumbled in at second base. He's out, and he may be hurt. Might have pulled something just before second base. I don't know, but he stumbled in at second, and he's out. He hit a low ball down into the corner and then got mixed up on his steps at second. He's out. 7-4. We go to the bottom of the ninth. A run, and it's over. If the Rangers score any kind of a run, they will win tonight. It is 2-2 to the bottom of the ninth inning. Bell hit a low rocket to left, and the speed of the ball actually helped get him at second. He looked strange going into second, though, Tom.
Well, it looked like he got a little bit out of kilter when he gets to second. He thinks this is going to be an easy double, and he slows up a little bit going into the bag. If he'd gone full speed and slid into second, he would have been safe. Right before he hit that pitch, I was ready to say you don't want to throw a pitch with 2 outs and nobody on and give Albert Bell a chance to beat you. Pavlik made a pretty good pitch, but it's a good thing Albert Bell didn't get that ball up in the air. That was another 100-mile-an-hour missile down the line. Should have been a double, ended up as a single, and now the Rangers can win it with a run in the ninth.
Here's Mark McLemore, a great game before a big sellout. He shows bunt. It appeared that he turned his ankle over when he went to step at second base, and it slid off the side of the bag as he tried to step on the bag. That was the leg tagged, and then his foot came down at an awkward angle, and that's maybe why it looks so weird right at second. Mac takes high for ball 2. The Rangers have a game-tying home run from Dean Palmer in the bottom of the 8th inning. And 121 is the pitch count now for Jack McDowell. There's Palmer, who tied it. McLemore, a high pop-up, shallow right field. Here comes Ramirez in, and Baerga goes out. And Baerga will make the catch, and there's 1 out. That'll bring up Lou Frazier. Guests on the Ranger Network may receive the Iowa Portable Music System with twin CD players. It delivers more than 2.5 hours of continuous music, plus the convenience of remote control. Iowa, turn me on. Lou Frazier 1 for 3. And they play for a bunt at third, and Lou takes high ball 1. Rangers would love to get him aboard and at second base with his speed. 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the way the corners are playing. Franco right next to first. And it's a ball and a strike. Frazier for the year hitting only .226. The Rangers have left 7 men tonight, including the bases walked full in the 4th.
McDowell is probably kicking himself. He let this one slip away.
Here's a base hit. The winning run is on. Frazier looking for second. Falls down going around first, or at least stumbled big. Went down to maybe a knee, and he's on at first base. And here comes the bunter up in Elster. Would you bunt him over now, Tom?
Not with 1 out. You can't bunt. You can't sacrifice bunt with 1 out unless you're a pitcher. So they'll try to hope that Elster can get a base hit to move him along. Maybe hit an extra base hit and score him with speed at first. You might try a steal. Frazier, you got to like Frazier's hustle. On both of his hits, which have been carbon copies of each other, he has sprinted all out to first base, hoping that the outfielder would bobble it and he could get to second base.
Fell around the bag right there. He's at first. Elster up, 1 out. There goes Frazier. They pitch out. Alomar's throw, the wrong side of the bag. He's safe. Alomar in the pitch out through to the shortstop side. Frazier a quick steal, a great jump, and he beat the pitch out, and the winning run's at second base. Was he motoring?
He was ready, and it was a pitch out, which means that the pitcher delivers it a little quicker than normal, Alomar's got a shot, but once the ball is on the left side of the base, Frazier with his great speed is in there, and now he can score on a base hit.
That's his third stolen base. And the throw, luckily for the Rangers, went to the shortstop side. Here's Elster now with a chance to win it. And that's low. You know that they try to score Frazier on a single. These are tremendous arms in the outfield. Ramirez has a tremendous arm in right, and so does Bell in left. And it's in the hands of Jerry Narron here with great speed at second. Winning run at second. Nobody's left. It's still a full house.
This could be McDowell's last hitter. Hopefully it's the game's last hitter.
2-0. Swinging strike. Big throwing outfield. Albert Bell in left has a whole bunch of assists. Kenny Lofton is probably the strongest throwing center fielder in the American League, and Manny Ramirez has a huge arm in right. So they can take a shot at it. The winning run is at second with 1 out. Elster 1 out of 2 tonight with a sacrifice and a stolen base. For the Rangers for the year, 32 out of 40 in stolen bases. It's a tremendous percentage. Frazier getting a good lead at second. They don't cut him down much there, do they? 2-1 to Elster. And it's now 2-2. Good pitch.
McDowell went right after him with his fastball.
What a great game, and it's gone by rather quickly. Hamilton is on deck. No one has really left the ballpark. Still 46,000 in here. Pavlik and McDowell have gone the distance at this point. Bottom of the ninth with 1 out and the winning run on. Mr. Elster gunning for his 40th run batted in. This is a 2-2. And a ground ball to short. They've got Frazier in a rundown. He tries to escape back to short. They're trying to get Elster to second, but Frazier has run into the second out. Little bit too much of a leadoff maybe for him there.
A little too anxious. When you're on second base in scoring position and the ball's hit to the left side of the infield, you can't go to third base unless the ball goes through. That ball was hit right straight at shortstop, and what you lose by being thrown out here is a man in scoring position and Frazier's great speed at second base. That's a base running blunder by Lou.
And that's a great play by Vizquel. Run right at him, and he can't run away from you. Here's Hamilton with the winning run at first, and now 2 out. McDowell ready. And there's strike 1 to Hamilton, who is 2 for 4. And the last time up, he hit a shot into right center field that Lofton made a tremendous catch on. Otherwise, he would have had his 3rd hit of the night. Hamilton has 2 home runs this year and a deep drive foul. He got some distance, but hooked it. And it is 0-2. These teams are pretty good in 1-run games. The Rangers are 8-4. The Indians are 7-2. So these teams have played very well in squeakers. Johnny Oates with a winning run on base, but not on the base that he wanted. First instead of second. 0-2. And we'll check in on Elster. Elster does not have Frazier type speed. On deck hitter is Rodriguez. McDowell has now pitched 8 2/3 innings. Pavlik has already pitched 9. 0-2. Sawed off foul.
That's a pretty good pitch. 0-2 for Hamilton to swing at. It's a fastball right down the middle. McDowell is very aggressive going after the hitters. After, I think if you asked him, he would admit he let this one slip away with a mistake to Dean Palmer. He had the game in control 2-1. He threw a fastball and Palmer tied it up.
This is 0-2 with Elster the winning run at first, and Hamilton takes way outside. Neither team has played much in extra innings. The Rangers are 1-1 in extra inning games, and Cleveland is 1-1 in extra inning games. So he's been there twice. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hamilton. Bottom of the 9th inning, and the game tied. Elster the winning run at first. And a deep drive toward the corner in right field. This is a fair ball. Elster to second. They're waving him home around third. Here comes the winning run. Here comes the throw. He's safe. Cleveland Indians 3-2. What a finish. Elster has scored and a Hamilton shot to right. And the Rangers win it before a full house that is going crazy. With 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning, Hamilton brings them home. It's a great moment for the Rangers, Tom.
Well, Hamilton hit this ball. It's a 2-strike pitch. Lined it right down the line. It messed around a little bit down the corner. Baerga got the throw, but Elster running all the way with a head-first slide is safe at the plate. Here's the pitch. Looks like a split finger pitch. Hamilton goes down and gets it. Right down the line. It'll hit in the corner. Actually, it doesn't bounce around. Ramirez picks it up cleanly, hits the cutoff man with a good throw. It's a good throw to the plate, but Elster makes it all the way around to score the 3rd run.
Hamilton will get as many bases as he touched. He can get as many as the runner. I don't know if he stopped at first and looked. He may only get a single. If he went to second, he gets a double. If he went to third, he gets a triple. I think he might have stopped at first base. I'm not sure.
Well, I think you have to give him a double. It's hard to score a guy from first on a single. You might even give him a triple, but probably a double.
Well, they'll give him as many as he touched. Right now, let's go down to Bill Jones. What an exciting moment. The Rangers have won it 3-2. Bill, take it away.
It is a happy Ranger dugout. The happiest man in this dugout is Darryl Hamilton. He still a little bit out of breath, but what a hit there, Darryl.
Yeah, we needed that. You know, it was a tough ball game all the way around, but you know, Pavlik stayed in there and pitched a good game, and that's what we need.
What were you looking from McDowell in that situation?
Well, he's been throwing me fastballs pretty much the whole time up there, and I was waiting for his forkball. I guess right, pretty much. Just try to stay inside the ball and keep it fair.
And Kevin Elster showed some wheels getting around the bases, huh?
Yeah, that was a big run. I mean, it's huge for us to get that first win out the way.
Yeah, how about playing against this Indian team, the 2 best teams in the American League record-wise, and just the atmosphere with the large crowd here tonight?
Well, it was great tonight. I mean, anytime you get 47,000 plus, you know, you're feeling pretty good about yourselves, and they got us going. You know, it was a long, tough game. You know, both guys threw great out there. It's just we got lucky towards the end.
Yeah, some of the national magazines have called this a Texas shootout type matchup. It's still early in the season, though. How do you look at it?
It's very early. I mean, we're just going out there trying to have fun. I mean, this is the best ball club in the American League, and we just want to do well against them.
How about the job Roger Pavlik did tonight? 9 innings, he goes the distance.
Outstanding. And then the best part about it, he got the win because he deserved it.
And I bet he was about the first guy to congratulate you in the dugout, huh?
He may have been. I know, the guy's mobbed me, and, you know, that's a great feeling all the way around.
All right, Darryl Hamilton, congratulations. He has the game-winning hit. It's happy down in that Ranger clubhouse. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thank you, Bill. Nice interview. And there is one happy, tired guy. The Hoover player of the game tonight is Darryl Hamilton. They have credited him with a double. He can get as many as he touches, up to 3. And he went 3 for 5 tonight, and he drives home Elster, who is at first base with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Pavlik has won 7, and the Rangers have won 31. This is one happy ball club, and we'll look at the totals right after this.
Lynn coverage of Texas Rangers baseball has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest Airlines, celebrating 25 years of love thanks to you. And by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Well, welcome back to the ballpark. These are great looking numbers right here for the Rangers. 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 8 left for Texas. 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 2 men left for Cleveland. Roger Pavlik is 7-1. Only Charles Nagy of the Indians has won more in the American League. Jack McDowell, a tough luck loser tonight, at 5-3. Baerga, Tettleton, and Palmer hit home runs before the first sellout of the year. This is the 7th largest crowd in Ranger history. Tonight it was 46,521. And before the full house, this was some of the most exciting Ranger baseball, Tom, in really a couple of years. It can't get better than this against one of the great teams in the major leagues right now in Cleveland.
Well, that was the best game of the season. There's no doubt about it. The Rangers played great baseball in Cleveland. They had a lead all 3 times. Now they come back home and beat the Indians in the first game of this series. Has to be the first time all season that there hasn't been a relief pitcher used in the ball game. Both Pavlik and McDowell pitched complete games, but it was a great game for Pavlik. No walks, 5 strikeouts, and that's his best stuff, and you need your best stuff to have a complete game victory against the Indians.
And it was a game of home runs up until the final run of the game almost. Here's the game flashback tonight. Let's take a look at this. It was Carlos Baerga, the 3rd batter of the game against Roger Pavlik, and he hits one to the Ranger bullpen.
Well, that was a good pitch. That was a fastball down around the knees. Give credit to Baerga. He went down and got it.
This is Tettleton, his 10th of the year to tie it.
That was a mistake. That was a fastball right down the middle, and Tettleton made McDowell pay.
In the 8th inning, Dean Palmer with the club trailing 2-1 kisses it goodbye.
Well, McDowell will see that pitch tonight when he goes to bed, because he had a 2-1 lead, the game under control, and he laid one in there to Palmer.
Elster's at first. Hamilton hooks it to right.
Well, Hamilton said after the game that he looked for a forkball. He got it. It's a good play in the corner by Ramirez. Throws to Baerga. He throws home, and Elster with a dive just does make it for the winning run.
And we're going to take another look at this. This is Elster hustling home from first, head first. He's there.
Elster showed pretty good speed because they got to that ball quickly. It was a good relay throw, and he still made the play at the plate.
Elster's been a part of just about every win. He didn't get the game-winning RBI tonight, but he scores the winning run. The other guy is Darryl Hamilton. Last year, Otis Nixon had such a great season for the Rangers. When they didn't pick up that option, everyone said, who would replace him? There were some other names, Tom, but Hamilton has not only led off very well, but he has come up with a big hit at the right time. He was 3 for 5 tonight. He's probably hitting toward the 320s now. He's over 400 as the leadoff man in the game. He does not have an error. He's done everything plus more.
Well, I'm not sure what the order was of the Rangers trying to sign center fielders, but there were a number of other names. The Rangers got the right guy in Darryl Hamilton. He worked hard this winter. His legs feel great. He's had some injuries in the past to his shoulder, but he's healthy this year. He's doing a great job leading off. He leads off the game with a hit, probably more often than not. He's played excellent center field. He's throwing better than he ever has. And I think he's made people forget about Otis Nixon.
This was a sellout. What does this do for a team? They're not off a great road trip, an okay road trip. They were 4-5. What does it do as a player and for a front office and for the fans? It really keys them up.
Well, they salvaged the road trip with those 2 victories. They get a huge win tonight against the best team in the American League in front of a full house. They've got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Rangers have won in the bottom of the 9th inning here, and a key hit by Hamilton. 3-2 as Pavlik beats McDowell. We'll be back right after this. Well, the Rangers now have won 3 games in a row. They're 31-19 for the year, and they still play well here at home as they are now 19-7 here at the ballpark in Arlington. The Indians have been stopped by the Rangers now twice. They're 2-2 against Texas. They had a 4-game winning streak broken tonight. The Indians will show up tomorrow night at 33-15. It's still the best record in baseball, but the Rangers did it to them tonight. 3-2 on Hamilton's double in the 9th after early home runs from Tettleton and from Palmer. For Tom Gray, this is Mark Holtz, inviting you to join us tomorrow night at 7:30 when the Rangers and Indians play again, Game 2, here on Channel 39 in Dallas-Fort Worth and the Lynn Rangers Television Network. The executive in charge of Lynn Productions is Lee Spakerman. Tonight's game produced by Paul McConnell and directed by the veteran Dave Burchett. Our technical director was Keith O'Neill. Associate producers Carla McMurray and Eric Josephson. Texas Rangers Baseball is a presentation of Lynn Productions.